Pleasant good evening, Barbados, the Caribbean, and the world. You are watching the Marcia Week Show, and we are coming to you live from Barbados. Beautiful Barbados, and already I see so many of you are on. It's a wonderful Sunday evening, kind of cool because we had the rain, didn't we? And it's beautiful. Oh, my Lord. It looks as though we're going to have lots more rain tomorrow. And some people might say that's a good thing. We might not have anybody, we might not have any shooting tomorrow. Let's hope. Let's hope and pray. Let's hope and pray. We heard about the young man that was shot and killed today. Only after three o'clock, you think about your own children, so we are grateful to be alive. We're grateful to be here. We're grateful to exist here on this planet. And I want to say good night to everybody who is on. Good night to everybody who's on this tonight at 9 o'clock. I want to start off very early by saying to you at 9 o'clock this evening, we're going to do something really, really wonderful this evening. At 9 o'clock, I am going to put the link in the chat to this show. And I want you to come on the show and to tell Barbados why you are tired of this government. That's if you are. If you're tired of this government, I want you to take that link, come on, and we're giving you 5 minutes, right? You are going to get 5 minutes to tell the rest of Barbados why you are tired of this government. And if you're sick and tired, you can say sick and tired. The only thing that we ask is that obviously we don't use any curse words and we don't call anybody's names, because I don't know what you're going to say. In fact, you know what? Let me put up my let me put up my disclaimer quickly. However, when you come on to the show, so tonight from 9 o'clock till 10, we're going to be here. The panelists will be here, but we're going to have you call into the show. Not call in, but you come in. You don't have to turn on your camera. All right? Anybody who's going to do it. If you're going to do it, let me know. Who is going to do it? Anybody who is going to do it, let me know. Who is bold enough to come on to the show at 9 o'clock tonight? So between 9 and 10. So we will have space for probably about 10 persons to come on. Don't all come on at the same time and crash the show. But we're going to ask you to come on. All right. So I'm going to be saying that throughout the night. Think about those things that really gets you really upset, and that makes you tired of this motley government. What are the things that this government is doing that makes you tired and you are ready for a new government? Anybody out there like that, you tell me that every night. So no, this is your turn to come on and to say it to the rest of Barbados. Listen, don't you all get cold feet on me. Huh? Don't get cold. Nigel Carrington, good night. Good night. Are you going to be coming on tonight to the show and to let us know what your thoughts are about this government? Bajan boy, you might not be tired of the government. You might want to come on to list all the great things that the government has done and why you're not tired of the government. Everybody will have 5 minutes. No more than 5 minutes, okay? Lucinda Aline, somebody name is corrupt governments. I sick of Bajan leaders. Hey, Queen B, how you doing? Queen B, I hope you can come on. You don't have to show your camera. It says, when we lose our fare, they lose their power. When we lose our fare, they lose our power. So we're not afraid. So we could come on tonight, right? We're coming on. Loyal daughter, are you coming on? You don't have to show your face. Just your audio. Ansel Seeley, New York. Good afternoon, Ansel. Good afternoon, Ansel. Ansel, you're gonna join us? Let me just put the link, and everybody will tell me if you've seen the link. So I'm copying the link right now, and I'm pasting it in the chat. If you know somebody brave enough to come on to the program, I want you to send it to them. Okay, so I've just put it in the program right there in the chat, in the chat. Okay, so you copy it and put it in your phone, and you can always use that to come on. Teroni, are you gonna come on tonight, Teroni? Teroni, are you gonna come on tonight? We needed to come on to tell us what it is that you are you are tired about with this government. What is it? Why you feel like, listen, I am tired of this Mottley government. Huh? Come and tell Barbados why you are tired. You might just be happy with it. There are people who are very happy with this government, you know. You know that? FX trading, BB, you coming on? You're gonna use the link and come on? Do it at 9 o'clock though. 9 o'clock. What's 9? 9. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Do it at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. We welcome you on. Owen Hines. How are you? From Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Erwin Nurse. Good evening. Joy and Faith. Good evening, Tony Paris. You know, we haven't had any marches. We haven't had any roadside parliament in a little bit. I know we have a meeting coming up to plan what we're doing for the rest of the year. Listen out for that. Yeah, we're not going to announce the meeting on the show, but but we're not going to announce where we're meeting, what we're doing on the show. Yeah, lest we be infiltrated. But we're going to have a meeting at some point. Tony Paris, good evening. Judith Ann Clark, how are you feeling? Tony Paris, good evening. Judith Ann, you're in my thoughts and my prayers. German Shepherd, ma'am. Good evening, good evening. CG, oh my gosh. CG, oh wow, we've been praying for you, CG. Oh, CG, it is good to see you. CG, we have been praying for you. My husband and I been praying for you, my dearest. CG makes the banners. CG, all those lovely, I mean, it's hard for us to say lovely, CG, but those lovely banners that you made for the young men who were deceased. You remember, with the beautiful butterfly? This woman is so gifted. And everybody was talking about those placards. We want to acknowledge her, really acknowledge CG. CG, thank you for your service, and thank you to every single one of you who have given financially. And to tell you, I actually I think, give me until Wednesday, I have a report for you guys of what we collected in the month of it's the month of July. In the month of July, sorry, I'm mixing up. In the month of June, and we did one week in July, okay? And we would have collected, guys, over $30,000 on this show using this medium here. The people on the marches, and I have it documented and everything of how it was spent. And so I have to bring that and show it to you. We were able to do roadside parliaments. We were able to do marches, pay the service providers, the sound and the truck and the streaming and everything that we do. And it's because of you. We've been, you know, that we've been helping families, but we haven't said it. You know, we haven't said it, but we have been helping families. There are people that have needed. I don't want to, because, you know, we try not to. One of the things, you know, I love about Caswell Franklin, he talks about, you know, making sure we humanize people and so on. And we don't say it, but there's a lot of help that happens behind the scenes, you know, at the marches that you don't know about, that we help people. It's almost like someone actually gave us $200 to start a benevolent fund, and we have just been giving and helping people. It's not a lot. So everybody, unless you really need it, don't call, please. Don't everybody flood the phone, But we do it quietly as people are in need. And but I just wanted to say that, as I mentioned, CG, to say thank you for the support. There was a time, Jefferson, that I thought that if I stepped out, that and I looked behind me, there would be nobody there, and it's not so now. Barbadians are supporting. You know what it is? In 4 weeks, all of us putting together, myself, Dave, Caswell, you, everybody put together, and we had over $30,000 in all those marches that we did, and the roadside parliaments and so on. And we spent that. We're going to meet now. We're coming up again, and I want you to know these things, because I wanted you to see how powerful you are. Heathcliff, I want us to see how powerful we are. As much as it's hard for all of us to get to the supermarket, Emerson, Bim the Beautiful, we are givers. Barbadians are so kind. Did you remember when we came on the show and there was a young man, Mr. Franklin told us about, that needed a laptop? Who remembered that, right? And some school supplies, and we raised I think, was it about $1,500 in one night on the show, where people just gave money, and we were able to, by the next night, I was able to come on here and show you the laptop that we went and bought for this young man. That is the power of people. We the people, when we stand up, do you see how much power that we have when we stand up? Paul Messiah, when we stand up, Noel, when we stand up, and when we join, we put our thoughts and our minds together, what we can accomplish. And to think of it, that David Commission, spreading propaganda and lies on our movement, that we are getting money from right-wing organizations and what did he say? Something that sounded so militant. Lies. Come, and I can say it's a lie because it is a lie. I'm not saying he's a liar. I'm saying what he said is a lie. Complete lie. And for a big official, you're the ambassador for CARICOM and telling lies on people like that. That's disgraceful, actually. Very disgraceful. It is your donation. From the time we started, from the Watch Out My Children, the people have donated because they want the government out. They're sick and tired of the government. They're tired, and they put their money where their mouth is. Barbadians are coming together. Barbadians are happening. I look behind me now and people are there. Everybody might not have the boldness to come out at the marches. Everybody might not be good as CG to make placards, or like Mark to be there at the front of the march all the time. Mark is at the front of the march. There is Dolores, who is always there praying for us, right? And I'm going to call Judy Jilks and Teroni and all the people. And don't let me call all that sister. There's a sister. There's a group, a set of sisters, beautiful Black African women. And I can't remember their names. And one of them, she came to me one time and gave me, she said, I just got my pension check. And I think she said, here is $50 from it. There are others who give, and I can't remember all of their name. Tate, that these people just help and they make it happen. And that is the power that we have. Why do we feel that people saying, oh, you can't change this government because who else is there? Look at what we're doing with the little that we have. Because Barbadians are so ingenious. Noel says he's going to come on. So I want you to come on tonight at 9 o'clock. You're listening to me. This is your show, It's not about the panelists. It's your show. I want you to come on tonight at 9 o'clock. You see this link that is on the screen right now, everybody? Take this link. And it's your time to come on at 9 p.m. tonight. And we're going to give you 5 minutes, because you know how it is. Sometimes, people don't want to leave the mic. Well, we're giving you 5 minutes to say why you are tired of this government. Why you are tired. I know I'm tired of them because of the disrespect. I hate to feel disrespected. And that's what they do. That's what they do. This government you see here. Yeah. So Noel says he will come on. Noel, take a copy of the link. Okay. Sonia. Yeah. Sonia. Good night. Sonia Perch. Corrupt governments. What a name to give yourself. Is asking when we're going to see this, see the back of these 29. Correct. And then you can do it. You can make sure that we see the back. That you see how we come together on here and raise money. Do you see that? You see how we come and we raise money. You and I, we pay for those marches. We pay for it all. We pay for the roadside parliaments. We do it. You understand the power that we have as a people? Yeah. Yes, FX training. Get a copy of that link at 9 o'clock. You come on and tell Barbados why you are tired, because they sometimes think it's just us on here. Huh? Yes, Teroni. I'm glad Teroni is going to come on. I am glad Teroni is going to come on. And it's at 9 o'clock that you come on. 9 o'clock. Yes, we are pleased to see CG. I pray she's feeling better. We've been really thinking and praying for her. Yes, Noel is going to come on from the diaspora. Correct. I want you to come on. Junie Rock is saying good night, Marcia and the team. Looking forward to a great show. When you lose your fear, when we lose our fear, they lose their power. And let's prove it tonight, guys. Come on and let them know that this is not just me on here. They say, oh, this Jamaican lady, why she don't go and talk about Jamaica? Why she don't go back to Jamaica? Let them know that we're suffering here. When last you went to the supermarket, I talking to somebody and they said they went to the supermarket to buy chicken back for their dogs. Huh? I know I haven't played the anthem yet. What time is it? I haven't played the anthem, but let me tell you this. I'm going to play it at 7:20. Listen to me, Junie Rock and Anthony Oliver. This lady was telling me she buys chicken back for her dogs, right? She live up in the Heights and Terrace. And she said that the chicken back is now so expensive. Chicken back. And I turned to her and I said, but ma'am, you're buying chicken back for your dogs. You know that some Bajans, that is what they're eating. Chicken back and ramen. Mince and ramen. That is what we have come to. And they're trying to tell us that it's good. They're telling us that the economy is good. When we are buying chicken back and ramen, we can't even pay for chicken back. When I came to Barbados, people weren't even buying chicken back. When I came to Barbados 20-something years ago, people not buying chicken back. And now, that is what a lot of people buying, chicken back. You can't even buy tin mackerel anymore. Tin mackerel is so expensive. Huh? Expensive. People have to, what are you going to have to do? Get a little salt and rice and butter? No, go to the supermarket and you will see how small the bags are. And they're trying to tell us that things are good. Huh? Yeah? All this money we are borrowing. We spend the money on concrete. We spend the money on steel houses. We spend the money on oysters flooding away. Our money, our $5 million washing away. We can't see what happened. Look at oysters today. If you spend $5 million, I thought you would have fixed that issue. We are tired of you. We are tired of this government. We are tired. We're too educated for this. We're too educated for this nonsense. And then people say, but if they go, who else? What do you mean, who else? What are we? Huh? Look at what we are doing and helping our fellow man. We can do it together. You hear? We are enough. We are enough. Stop listening to people that make you think, right? Let people think that, oh, right, Karen Williams, it was $1,500 we raised for one child. on here. Yes, at Ellerslie School. And I took that laptop to Mr. Franklin, and he took it to the family. Huh? We can do it, man. Each of us, and it doesn't take a lot, right? Everybody put in something, okay, and that's what's happening. And I really want to big up my Bajan people. The fear is going. I don't care what people want to say. Oh, they're not coming out. They're not. No, the fear is going. I can feel it. There's an energy coming from Barbadians. Let me tell you, that sleeping giant, I told you when I started this show, do not wake a sleeping giant. You need to let the government need to know, don't wake the sleeping giant. And listen, we don't have to, some countries are burning down place. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do all of that for change, That's not what I'm advocating. Right? But we can have change in here, and we don't physically mash up this country, but we can haul them out, not physically, but we go and we make sure that they come on. Somebody telling me that one of them say, oh, in a few months they're going to call election. Somebody from their party told someone that in a few months they're going to call the election, and how they are sure that they're getting back in. You see how they behave. And I get this some good source. I'm not going to come on here and say like that yes. But one of those MPs told someone that they have to get in a campaign mode, because in a couple of months. And I believe they're waiting. They're trying to do that, and that's when they're going to bring out the new constitution after they get in. But we need to tell them, no way, Barbadians. We need to give them a rude awakening. And if they don't change, we need to have never again, we gonna give them no 30 or 30. Never, you hear me? Never. They squandered our trust and treat us like filth, disrespect us. Loyal daughter, disrespect us. Yes, saving the lost. Hey, Apostle Breedy. I'm going to send you the link too, and you come on and tell me your 5 minutes on why they should go. We need to bring on Apostle Breedy on the show again. She's been traveling a lot, and so on. Good evening, Dr. Ferdinand. And I haven't played the anthem. Let me do it. I'm getting carried away. I'm just loving up on my Bajan people, and telling them how much the support means to us, Dr. Ferdinand, and how they have supported us so well in this venture, right? Wow. No, look at this. Somebody's saying that a supermarket bill is $1,800 per month for a family of 3. And I believe them. And I can tell you that they're barely buying it. They're not buying. You can't buy fruits and vegetables with that, right? You can't buy fruits and vegetables with that. Barely few little taste bad apples that you're able to buy. Proper fruits you can't buy, and they try to look at us. Huh? It's like somebody. So as I said, they're urinating on you and telling you that it's rain. They are telling us that it is oh so good. Oh my goodness. Even the salt gone up. And what I hate is that they're trying to convince us that we are having it so good under this Mayor Mottley administration, that time we're suffering. Not to mention gas, we soon start walk, we can't drive the car. A lot of people have the big rights and can't put the gas in the car. Make we talk corporate business and talk the truth. Oh, we eat ramen. And that's why a lot of people overweight, because they're eating the wrong things. They cannot afford the right things to eat. Yes, so chicken cages, everybody call it chicken cages. A lot of people, that's what they're eating, because they can't eat a real chicken. You know how much a real chicken? Huh? I remember going to Mozambique, and when we were in Mozambique, they only eat chicken at Christmas time. Well, that part of Mozambique that I was in. Chicken was hard to come by. Things were tough. So that's what going to happen to us in Barbados. And what I hate about it, you see, if somebody they come and say, "Boy, things are hard, and we go work together as a community," and so on. I said, "But no, don't come and tell me lie and urinating on me and tell me go out. Oh, this is a rain. Let the rain. Let go. Just be happy in the rain. Dance in the rain. When it's pee pee and urine upon me, your wee upon me and I tell me say a rain. Huh? So I must enjoy the rain, and it is good. I've never had it as good as this before. Huh? What is that? What is that? Hmm? Let me play the anthem and see, because they are thing. Um they really let me get this anthem played, because I'm past the time to play the anthem. But I just felt like talking to us all tonight from my heart, because I'm going through it. I know everybody going through it. Yes, Barbados. Yes, Barbados. We do it for the love of country. It is for the love of country. We do it for the love of country, everybody. That's what it's all about, for the love of country. And Dave is not here tonight with us on the call. You know, he comes on and helps me technically. Biggest supporter is my husband Dave. And actually, yesterday, I'm going to do something that we don't normally do. But I'm going to tell you all that yesterday we celebrated 33 years of marriage. 33 years of marriage. And that's one a picture. Dr. Ferdinand put up this picture in a chat. So I said I would use this picture, but I think there's another picture. And yes, there's another picture. That's us in our younger days. And the two pictures that we have to put up are pictures of us with our movies, etc. And we celebrating 33 years. That's how I became a Barbadian, and he's a wonderful man, and real gentleman, real great husband, and a great father. And that's why everywhere you see me, you see him, because we're together. Oh Lord, and yes, it's 33 years, and I thank God for him. And I just want to honor him tonight and honor our union. And we have Mr. Murray on, and I think he must have much more years than we do, because he's only 28 years old. We're just using the eight. There's an eight there. But I'm just teasing him. Let me welcome Mr. Glenn Murray in the house. Glenn, are you there? Mr. Murray, are you there? Okay, I'm not seeing him there just yet. Okay, I see his head is appearing there.
You got me now?
Yes, Mr. Glenn Murray. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. And might I say belated congratulations to you and Dave. And right now I am on the verge of I'm on the verge of 39.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're having a problem. There's a feedback. Do you hear it?
If there's a
When there's a feedback. So what I'm gonna ask you is to go out and come back in.
Okay. All right. Good.
So I'm gonna remove you. Yeah. Yes, thank you all so much. Thank you all so much, guys. Thank you. And this is what we're pushing: family. Family is important. You hear what I tell you? A strong family is important, and I thank God. Right? I thank God for strong families. That's important, and everybody that's holding it down with your family, right? Everybody that's making inroads with your family, we give God thanks, yeah, for you. Keep it going. We need strong men, right? We need strong men. Very important, very important. Yes. All right. Okay, let's see if Mr. Murray, we can hear him again. Good evening, Mr. Murray.
Good evening. Any better?
Let's
Are you
see.
getting that?
No,
Are you
it's
here?
perfect now. Thank God. It's perfect
Thank
now.
you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. Now, I told you that Mr. Weeks is not here because he's preparing for Walk Holy. We have Walk Holy tomorrow.
Yeah,
Uh,
I saw some fabulous looking costumes on
you like
on
you
on the
like
show.
the Walk Holy costumes?
Those are costumes. That's why you want the slides them dealing with the costumes. I hope you'll be able to read what they sent you as a slide, even if you can't
Yes,
show it.
I will read it.
Right.
I will definitely I'll definitely be reading it for
Right.
you.
Okay.
Yes, so you go right there. So let's talk quickly about the Walk Holy costumes. I was saying that, Mr. Murray, that tomorrow is, I say Walk Holy. People say Kadooment. I call it Walk Holy because
Okay.
but we're first out. And for us, we go there because we are part of the culture. If I don't love my culture, I don't love who I am. Our culture is who we are. And so there are very great things about the culture. Yes, there's some lewdness that we inject our lewdness into something that is wonderful. And but we also go, it's for us, we worship God on the road, and we also showcase our beautiful costumes, because we believe that you don't have to be half naked to be beautiful, and so, or to portray any something. So we are on we're out tomorrow, doing just that. Okay.
And that is the reason I was so impressed with the costumes because if you know if you I have a definition of a costume among what I sent you, and it
Yes.
basically says if you can read that and read it slowly so the public understand what is a costume.
Yes, and I'm going to be reading that now. As they would know, normally we would have that, put up
Right.
on the screen, but Dave is not here tonight. Costume definition is an outfit worn to create the appearance characteristic of a particular period, person, place, or thing.
Exactly. And that is what you do, and that is my concept and my experience of costume. What we have been seeing for the far too many years is just a rush to nudity, a rush to skin and flesh, boobs and bootsies and bam bams and bumpers and all kind of stuff. Uh, it serves no purpose.
Yes.
It doesn't represent anything except a way of people less than discreet. And so costumes really depict something or a person or a thing or an event or a time. That is what you and any other band that comes with costumes will and should be doing. That's the major difference between a costume and some skimpy attire, birds and feathers, etc. They don't make a costume. They just mostly try to cover your genitals, etc. But apart
Mhm.
from that, they say it says nothing, right?
I didn't
Hello.
hear you, sir.
I said apart from that, what little is going uh, says nothing except about
Exactly.
person they started right.
But that's what we found in just before you go right in your presentation, let me say that we found that we were winning a lot of prizes even though we did not sign up to win prizes. The first time we started to win prizes, it was like, what kind of prizes? We didn't know about these things. But we would win prizes all the time because we have material. We know
Right.
we have cloth, we can create something, and that's what we did, and we won prizes.
Well, good luck tomorrow, and I hope you clear the table with your prizes tomorrow.
No, well. What has happened over the years is that the other band leaders, when we started to win the prize, they were fine with us winning one or two, but then when we they didn't mind it. It was kind of, the Christian, let them go ahead. But once we started to clean up the whole thing, I remember the reporter called me and said, Marcia, the Walk Holy band won all of the prizes in the small band category. I said, "Oh my goodness, we're in trouble." I knew they were going to come for us, and so said, so done. So they told us, well, um, if you are going to win prizes, then what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to choose a number. And we didn't want to choose a number because we were, they kind of threatened us, people, that they were going to come and disrupt the band, they're going to come and walk up on us and so on, and to create a problem. So we didn't want that, so we chose not to do prizes because of that.
Oh, uh, cowards, afraid
Yeah.
of the competition. They should see that as a challenge to their creativity and their imagination and their resources. But that is the nature of human beings. So
Hmm.
I'm sure you will not be dismayed by that.
Not at all, not at all, not at all. So, Mr. Go ahead, Mr. Murray. Our theme tonight is that we are tired of this motley's government. We're tired of this motley government. But in your presentation, we'll know why you're tired. Go right ahead.
Um, before I get into my main presentation, I'd just like to use this opportunity to pay a tribute to the passing of the late Dennis Clark,
Mm.
a major trade unionist who passed away a few days ago. He
Okay.
was not only a first class and a first rate trade unionist, he was also a first rate human being.
Mm-hmm.
Very agreeable, never angry, always willing to hear you, cooperate, compromise, adjust, hear your point of view. And we did a lot of work together when I was as minister in state, minister in charge of the civil service. And he played a lot of work, and it helped us achieve some major uh, policy changes for the public workers. We worked together. He did a lot of work along other members of the team, but we are featured on him now. Now that he's passed away. Um, we set up the Employees Assistance Program, what is called EAP, which gives people, which allows person if they're not well physically or mentally to go and get treatment without automatically and then be covered. I think 2 or 3 payment treatments to be covered. You don't have to give any reason to anybody. You don't have to recommend it. You just do it on your own free will, and that has worked, from what I understand, quite well over 30, probably over nearly 30 years now.
Mm.
Confidential, that has worked well. We also did a lot of work in in the flexibility of loans. You hear people talk about getting paid flexi for policemen and nurses,
Yes.
etc. Right, because government can never afford to pay policemen, especially for the extra hours they put in. So we devised a formula which said that if you put at a certain point you apply, you get a proportion, a proportion of what you normally get as a gesture, as a token of appreciation, and that's great. So it's called flexibility allowance. We also did some. We also were able to work and convert 5,000 about 5,000 casual workers who therefore had no security of tenure, who couldn't get loans, who couldn't get mortgages, etc. We made them public officers, improving their status, improving their pension rights, improving their gratuity rights, and now they were able to do business and give them uh, status and well-being, like other purpose person in the public service. So he was a we also did some work in the together on the subcommittee of the social partnership, which we use as the uh, first alarm for any issues happening in the public service. We would come to this committee and we would seek to resolve it among ourselves before we even went to the social partner fully, or we just sort of among ourselves. I mean, that's why we never had a strike, a disruption, a layoff. I mean, it worked remarkably well. I don't know what has happened to the culture of the public service now, but those methods, meeting ready, consulting, trusting, being honest, being fair, worked very well for us. And he was a major contributor to that legacy. And I want to pass my family, and I pass our sympathy to his family and all his friends and colleagues who will be missing him. All right. But I want my question tonight is Corporal 50, what next? And I think it's a major question because of what I've seen so far of the 50th anniversary celebration, which should be a magnificent, powerful, up in your face. You have to feel that Barbados Corporal has meant something, has done something, and it's going places. I have, frankly speaking, feel rather underwhelmed, not overwhelmed, underwhelmed by the whole 50th anniversary celebration. It doesn't have the meat and bounciness, presentation. It's a visual, oral presence at all that should mark what 50 years ago, a golden anniversary of Club Over, and and it's not there. And I'm not even going to touch on that disaster show on Friday night, which probably goes back one of the worst shows ever seen in Crop Over or any other show. I think it was a horrible. I think it was an insult to the people of Barbados. Um, uh, all those who worked very hard to keep Crop Over going and to build it to this point, and for it to be treated that way in that pick of the crop finals. I think Dr. Shanta Monroe and the CEO of the NCF to come and explain and apologize to the public. But really, it was beneath any other NCF pick of the crop finals scene, and beneath any other crop over show put on, crop over show or virtually any show ever put on by the NCF. And I don't think it's good enough to just dismiss it as technical problems. What were the technical or who or what caused them? I understand that part of the problems. You've heard me talk about friends, family, fornicators. I understand that a relative of one, friends, family, fornicators, had
Uh-huh.
work to do technically, and it was not done on time up to par, and that apparently, from what I am told, was the seat of the problem. But it was a disaster. It really was torturous, and it's not a good omen at all for crop over. And crop over, crop over um, was a phenomenon that started in '74. A research rebuilt. A lot of work went into it. A lot of people contributed. At first, it was meant to be at the time of the year to have moved to the low summer period in tourism. But then it took on a life of its own, and the Barbadians responded to it because crop and cane represented part of their lives for hundreds of years, and they could relate to the whole program built around that. Prior to that, there were some attempts to have carnival, but which did not catch Barbados' imagination because we are not a Roman Catholic country, and therefore carnival, which the Latin for goodbye flesh and wanton living, did not trigger an appropriate response. Then after that, there was another attempt to create what was called a summer festival that didn't go. But crop over has done well, and therefore um, has it has reached a point where I am wondering, I'm concerned about where it's going. I'll tell you what, one of the things that has happened is that because it's success, it has now become a commodity, and I think if you read the definition of a commodity for me,
Yes, it's
right,
coming up. Yes, coming
right.
up. As we are um working tonight, as we are here making this presentation, we're going to ask you to share, and remember that we are asking you at 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, to come on to the show and to say why you're tired of this government. Yeah. Commodity is a substance or product that can be traded, bought, or sold. Commodity, a substance or product that can be traded, bought, or sold.
Thank you. I think with the success of crop over, businesses and uh, institutions want to associate their activity, their goods or the services of crop over, and they would give sponsorship, become involved uh, in the crop over. But what has bothered me is that I have seen that in this commodification, this selling of making a product, and there's nothing wrong with monetizing a product. It must have had some value and appeal for people who want to put their money behind it. It was Barbados' uh, main driving force of a cultural identity, and people responded. The market responded to it. But what has happened is that we have seen and begin to feel that over those 40 years, I began to see that we are being sold out, and there'll be some selling out, not only of selling of crop over as a commodity which a person would want to associate as a product, as a good, as a service, as a appeal order. Not only that, but that there was a selling out of the intent of the integrity of the process and making sure that Barbadians benefited maximally from this product. If you could turn to slide two, and this happened with an activity sort in which the NCF has become involved with uh, DJ Private Rand out of Trinidad. But read
Out of
slide read
Trinidad. Okay,
outright
slide
read
number
slide.
2 says qualified Bajan DJs ignored by the NCF. So listen carefully. These are qualified Bajan DJs ignored by the National Cultural Foundation of Barbados. DJ Puffy, Lil Rick, Hotchi and Sis, Scott LaRock and Marley, Fresh, Just J, Daddy Biggs, Indian, and Chris Gale.
Thank you. And those are only people in the field. To me, there are probably about another 20 more who are good enough to do what the ancestors thought to do on the 50th anniversary of crop over, where you have competent DJs. DJ Puffy has won international awards.
Yes.
All right, so he did. All right, as these persons are known, effective, popular, proficient, competent, excellent DJs, and they're Barbadians know the Barbadian music. So they would have 50 years of music to go back on and play and identify with. You could have divided this project, which the editor saw as a stimulus for crop over, among that DJ. I understand they're doing the cost of it between, I'm not sure of the figure, but I'm told probably between 20 and 30,000 US dollars that might have been paid or could have been paid for um, DJ Sergeant Ryan out of Trinidad to do what these persons could have done. And if you let the people see what it is a starter where they're using sampling of Barbadian songs to promote Crop Over 2024 on the 50th anniversary. And if you go to slide 3, you'll see read. It's a fairly lengthy. There's a picture of Private Ryan, Then there's
Yes, I'm gonna
Fex.
see if we can. One of my sons is trying to help me, so I'm gonna see if he can play that. I'm gonna keep talking, and we're gonna see if we can put
Right.
up that picture for you at least. Okay, so keep
So
speaking, sir.
uh, uh, Private Ryan is a popular DJ, but he has a following. But I'm saying that it is I feel insulted. It is I think it's infidel at a time where where our culture is supposed to be so powerful and meaningful, that you would bring an outsider that come and promote your 50th anniversary, not to play a role in, but that we had competent persons who are more familiar with our cultural landscape, etc., and who will therefore have an identity to feel in the person's response to do a promo which they could have done to promote the same crop over on its 50th anniversary. I think the NCF has fallen down, and maybe that decision is replicated, and with that kind of thinking, no wonder then Friday Night Show has been so disastrous because it does not make sense. Um, uh, Private Ryan, like I said, is popular, but he kept back for you need a Barbadian idea. That cannot happen. Like that, I've never heard of a Bajan DJ or a group of DJs who go on to Trinidad. In the days when there was a Bajan invasion to Trinidad, music, etc., artists, but for them to identify you with a Trinidadian activity, your 50th anniversary. And it made me remember at one time there was, I think it might have been um, the Queen of Alison Hines. She had a very popular song in Trinidad. I don't remember what it was at proper. And she was hired to do some ads for standard distributors, which is headquarters in Trinidad. And when the word got out, they had to scrap the ads because they said they're not buying any product in Trinidad promoted by a Bajan in Trinidad. So that is the rivalry and the sense of nationalism and personal identification they feel about. But any progress yet on Private Rain for the public, for those who are not of this world of music of DJing, who might not therefore have heard of Private Rain?
Yes, we're still working on it. We're still working on
Okay,
it.
but if that bad as that was on the part of the NCF. I understand that I think it might have been yesterday or last night that Private Rain actually did a private job in Barbados.
Mm.
Right? A major job in Barbados. There's a effect called Bliss. Right? There's one of these private effects called Bliss. Very good Freddie and said does a very good job. But it is promoted as one of the triumphs of crop over. How many activities are happening for crop over, how growing it is. But what people don't know that a lot of these major, especially the inclusive effects, are brands out of Barbados who, like business person looking for business opportunities, come into Barbados, make their contacts,
Hmm.
promote the effect, make their money, and most of the money goes back to Barbados. I understand it is so bad uh, that the NCF has, I'm told, has had, when they have their fair, it is not that the foreign promoters are coming to have their fair and use Barbados products, Barbadian artists, and leave some of their money back to Barbados. I'm told the NCS has had to pay these promoters, thank you, to allow for Barbadians to be on the shoreline. In other
So,
words, they
so
are
this
not
is
being
Private Ryan. This is Private Ryan from. He's a Trini.
right. You can read what they say about the text on it.
Yeah, so I will read that from the phone, guys. He wrote, "It was a pleasure to work on the official mix to get you ready for Krakover in celebration of Krakover 50th. I worked with the NCF to bring you the snippet of what to expect from Krakover this year. Many solid tracks on this one. Enjoy. We are not. We can't. I don't think we're allowed to play that, but at least we it's approved what you're saying that they actually." He actually worked on it for Barbados, and we had so many DJs, as you're saying, that could have done it.
And it's authenticated because it's carrying the NCF logo on it and whatnot. So it's authentic. But like I said, if this were free, give and take, equal, or treating people, be appreciative and treating Barbadians with respect. why should the NCF have to pay a foreign promoter to let their acts be on the show? I feel the NCF has no obligation that if, in order to get the cooperation of the NCF and other government entities, a certain proportion of the entertainment should come from Barbados by Barbadians of Barbados, and not you bring your international brand, get your money at the door, get your sponsorship from some of the of countries outside of Trinidad, mostly outside of Jamaica, and they dominate. So you have these glorious, well attended, lots of money, exclusive $300-400 for admission, etc. But very little of the money is staying in Barbados. Very little of the artists, who is their main time of their peak season crop over, are benefited from that arrangement. And I think it's awful. I think it's something that should not be encouraged. That when it's not okay. It's like when persons come to set up a hotel and they get concessions. There are certain arrangements where you have to quid pro quo. You have to involve the Barbadians at certain levels. You have to leave some of your money and not just come and cream it off and say what a great couple of it was, and you go on to the next. Because there's a circuit that you do throughout the Caribbean, around the world, for festivals. But this is just another festival, just another stomping ground for these farm promoters. And I feel that this, on top of what the NCF was done on the day name on Friday, should never be allowed again. I think it's wrong, it's unfair that the Barbadians, when they come to Barbados and they enjoy the facilities of Barbados, paid for by the taxpayers of Barbados, by Barbadians. And I think that no, you should never condone by subscribing to that. You tell them, so you have to give me some of what you leave some of your money in Barbados. That as a benefit, not me pay you to employ women, so I'm subsidizing, further subsidizing your show, apart from any concessions you might get from them. I think it's horrendous. Uh, I don't know what you are, Marcia. You are in the field of movies
Yeah.
and produce. What do you think of that arrangement
I
where
mean,
you?
it's really really terrible. I remember when DJ Puffy won this big international DJ competition. We were all so excited for him. A young man, accomplished so much. He beat out all the different countries. Are you gonna tell me he's not good enough to be able to do a mix for us here in Barbados? These people come in and they clean out and they go. All that money's gone to Trinidad, and so I'm in total agreement with you. And it's not just done in music, but it's something that we overlook Barbadians in many other areas as well. In the culture, that same NCF. They do that, the Marshall Montana shows and all of these, they pay these artists really big time money, and forget about our local artists here. And these are some of the reasons, Mr. Murray, that we're simply tired of this motley government. We are tired of them. And your segment proves that.
I mean,
To,
this is a backward step. It really is. I feel Barbie. No, let me tell you why it is backward. There was a time when I was growing up, before '74, up to about the mid '60s, '70s, '60s, late '60s, where there could not have been any NCF because Barbados did not think it was commonplace. And many people believe and support the idea that Barbados had no culture because we were not producing uh, cultural, visual, performing arts, visual arts, etc., that reflected the Eurocentric point of view and origins, etc. Because we were not amplifying and supporting our European input into our cultural mix. But what we were doing was basically out of our African heritage and a mixture of the two, because they have intermingled and produce what we are as Barbadians.
yes,
But people thought there was no culture because if you weren't writing like Shakespeare or Keats or composer like Chopin, you had nothing. And we cut that down to the point where we had a viable cultural product. In fact, that is how NCF came into being. NCF came into being in 1984 by Prime Minister Tom Adams, who wanted to give a significant cultural boost to Barbados by sending a contingent to Cuba in 1979 for Carrie Festa, then hosting Carrie Festa in 1981, and rebuilding. You perform at Common Hall. That Common Hall was refurbished for Carrie Festa in 1981. And that brought us, and then we started going, but we started to project ourselves as a serious cultural force. And then you do this. So you're going
Yeah.
backwards.
We're,
You're
we're,
going backwards. We have enough material and person in Barbados that, especially at 50, how do you do that at 50?
Yes, Mr.
Huh?
Murray, the truth is, I mean, we're gonna I see Mr. Franklin here, and it's 8 o'clock, so we have to move on to his segment. But the truth is that we are enough. I keep saying that on the show. I keep saying that in the Frank Durant says, "Good night, my name is Frank Durant. Listen to the conversation." I agree with this gentleman, Mr. Murray. We have to take care of our own first. We should be using our own DJs. And the truth is that we are enough. Mr. Franklin was on, and Mr. Murray, there's a sound coming through, as you know. So I'm going to turn off your
Okay.
microphone. And when you're ready, then you will signal to me at the end of Mr. Caswell's presentation. But thank you so much for that very sobering segment about loving. What I heard from you is about loving ourselves, really, and believing in ourselves and knowing that we are enough. And it's a disgrace what the NCF is doing in our 50th year. And this is another reason why we need to get rid of this government. We're tired of them. We are sick and tired. And there are quite a few things, Mr. Murray, that I listed here, I'm listing them again for people who want to call in. I'm inviting people to call in, not to call in, but to use the link to come in at 9 o'clock. Right at 9 o'clock, come in, and you have 5 minutes, okay? But these are some of the things that I wrote down today. We are simply tired of this motley government. Why? Disrespect of the president of Barbados at the same NCF. And Caswell is going to talk about that. I'm going to ask him to talk about that very soon. The food and gas prices are through the roof. Poor working conditions and gross disrespect of public sector workers. Absentee, clueless, out of touch prime minister. No job opportunities for young graduates. Maxine McLean is going to come and talk about that. Corruption and cover up by the government. No Republican constitution since we have been a republic. Bad governance. Broken promises by the Motley government. Poor health care, dirty tap water that is barely accessible, garbage pile up. Right now, they have St. Lucie, stink, stink, stink. Garbage pile up taller than a 6 foot man. That is what is happening in St. Lucie at this moment. So let me bring Mr. Franklin in after that sobering segment by Mr. Murray. Mr. Franklin, good evening. Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. I muted you. There was some noise coming in. I can hear you now. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
Welcome.
good evening to you, Marcia, and to all the viewers. I'm so happy to be here again tonight. Even though it's a bit of heavy heart because my country is losing its way rapidly. There's a sense of decay. The decadence in this country is just catapulted down the road. It's everything is hurtling out of control and leading the I can't even say we call it disorder. Leading the disorder is the Honorable Prime Minister. I cannot believe that the Barbados that I grew up in has plummeted to the levels that we are seeing now. And I'm going to start by talking about the thing with the president, right?
Yes, so just start it
Big,
from the top because there are lots of people who don't know what happened. People are asking what happened.
okay. Well, normally the president or when we had Governor General, they were always invited to these national functions, especially crop over activities. And Her Excellency, Dame Sandra Mason, she was invited and she turned up. And the thing is, nothing happens, or let's say nothing should happen when the president is involved, where you have things to chance, where people have to be running around, scampering to find out what to do next. There are always site visits. I've been involved in some at the lower level, and I was just there. I wasn't in the planning, I was in the learning. And the aide de camp for the Prime Minister, for the Governor General, would have gone to the NCF to the site visit. And my information is that the aide de camp told them that's not appropriate place to place the president, because the president was placed next to the toilet alongside the stage where she could have to access it from a screen. And you know they were having a lot of technical problems where the president's screen wasn't working. If believe it or not, first of all, we had other people who had better accommodation. I understand this, you might have air conditioned toilets. And the president was made to sit close to one. That wasn't air conditioned, by the way, but that's another thing. But it started very badly. First of all, I took out the national emblems and national anthem of Barbados regulations to point out that these things are required. First of all, if you tell the president come at 8, she gets there at 8 o'clock. I've never seen the president or the governor general late for anything. Okay? And the president got there. My understanding was that we had people like one minister responsible for culture who did not come and greet the president. And to her credit, the chairman of the NCF, she tried to do some, to cover up things, to make things look good. She greeted the president. And I understand the permanent secretary in the Prime Minister's office, Elise Jordan, she went and did a little thing to make it look better. But it can't look worse because the president was there waiting for something to happen. And of course, she's there long before the anthem is played. The anthem is supposed to be played according to the regulations. The national anthem shall be played. This is 21 of the regulations. A, for the purpose of a salute on a ceremonial or official occasion on the arrival and departure of the Governor General. Now, according to the amendment to the Constitution, that means president now. Okay? So the anthem should have been played when she got there. It should also be played when she's departing, but that doesn't really happen. Right? But, we do what we like around this place. The president, if I were her, I would be insulted. And I feel that she was. And she did the only appropriate thing to do. Because you cannot treat the president of the Republic of Barbados in this offhand manner. They were told the accommodation was not appropriate to place the president, yet still they did. I understand that there was not one resignation prior to the president coming, because when the arrangements were being made, and even though they were told and they didn't make arrangements, one fella resigned and gone on sick leave. So he is serving his notice on sick leave. You give the employer a month's notice. My understanding is that he has resigned even before the president got there, or the day or so before, because he knew something was going. He knew the place was going to collapse. It was easily foreseeable that this was going to be a show not that you would not forget. Not in the sense that it was memorable for the events, but it was memorable for the flaws, for the disrespect meted out to the president of Barbados. And I'm saying to the people of this country that she was appointed as Governor General by the Front of Stewart. And that signals to the Barbados Labour Party that she's a dem. Okay? And as a result, they have been disrespecting her continuously. for a long time. As a matter of fact, I just mentioned it last time we spoke last week, that they have officers working for her that are entitled to more vacation than the president. The president gets 4 weeks vacation. An executive officer in public service get 6 weeks. Once you reach Z11 in the salary scale, the president is way above Z11. They went to Parliament and they gave her 4 weeks. And I told them when it was a senator, when it was happening, I said, you can't do that. And they promised to fix it when they discovered that, because they're always rushing and doing these things and doing it wrong. And because they were showing them up so often, they said, well, the man can fix that because I was looking good. It wasn't my fault. It's just that I don't think I was looking good. It's just they were looking really bad. And they promised to fix it. Even now, since I was out of the Senate now since 2022. And this is 2024, and they have not fixed it. You know? So here we have a situation now where the president of this country, not greeted by the prime minister, this is an official function, the prime minister should be there, but she was probably planning her effect to go out there and dance it with lyric, and that's I ain't gonna talk about the other two. So she couldn't be there to greet the president either. She should be there is a level of disrespect that is unknown. We've had governors general who was the Queen's representative in Barbados, so the closest thing we had to head of the state in Barbados, and we knew their political leanings, but they have, except for one, we didn't have them going around and showing their political colors after they've been appointed. And I dare say, not that I know that the current president is a Dem or anything, because she has never, as far as I'm aware, made her political allegiance known to anybody. Even when she was a magistrate, when she was registrar, nobody could tell you. I know she got a brother who was a big B. We sat in the National Council, the Barbados, their party together. So, but I don't think, but we are not that close. I can't describe our relationship as being close, but I have never heard that she's espoused any allegiance to any particular political party as when she was a public officer, and more so now that she's president. And I see people talking, we should demand an apology. We don't want no apology. We want some heads. We want them in a basket like John the Baptist. Some heads should roll. You can't treat the president and get away with I'm sorry. No. This is not good enough. If you treat the head of state like this, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to the fellas down the road? Because you have to, if you treat the highest in the country that badly, what do you expect to happen to a fellow like me who way down below high? And that is what is happening all over this public service and this government. They have no respect for anybody, for the rules, for anything. They just do what they like. The big joke is, after the president left, boy, they were too glad. The hustles and people, Chantal Monroe and Amor Mottley and a few of them, pick up the place where the president was sitting down. Oh yes, Marcia. I had on good authority some person who was there. The president, her entourage left, but I still have people there caught to tell me things. And I understand that the space was quickly occupied. I think that they were trying to force her out. The kind of behavior that we saw, it seemed as though that they know the president can stand for that. She will go leave. Right? You see, she is equivalent to the queen, That's the equivalent. She's a head of state. And nobody would have treated Queen Elizabeth like that. When some of the Queen Elizabeth underlings came to Barbados to fix the roads. Far less, and you're going to tell me that they couldn't at least put her someplace that ain't next to her toilet, that she could see the people live, and that the screen, at least when they put she to watch the screen, that the screen should work.
Mm. So she was watching a screen.
No, well, it sure didn't start, but the screen, the screen was there showing things. The other screens, hers was blank, because somehow the technical officer, he he gone and nobody know what they're doing. And the president's screen they're blind. So you have right there where she will have to lean over to the side and peek around the corner to see if you can see the stage because her screen was blank. And the thing is, she should not be behind any screen. She should be front and center. That is the pride place that the president should occupy. I don't care which sponsor get in the car, they're going to take number 2 spot. You can't get a number 1 spot when the president is there.
Right.
This is not, this, I see the thing is, I don't even know if the president pay any money. I don't see she gets flustered by a lot of things. But I'm flustered. You know, I see she might take it in her stride. Not the disrespect or whatever, but I can't.
Mr. Franklin, I'm not going to take too much time of your segment, but I would love for people to register, to write and say how you feel about the way the president was treated. And I heard it from Caswell, and you know, Mr. Franklin, when he comes on, he's got the receipts. And someone who was there contacted me today. And with the both of us, you know, we tell him, you know, we're going to come to you with the truth. And so it's not something that was made up, folks. This actually happened in Barbados. What are your thoughts about this? Should the CEO resign? It has to stop somewhere. Should Carol Roberts resign, who believes she runs everything? But back to you. So let me hear in the comment section.
If there is no resignation, there should be a dismissal. I am a trade unionist, and I do not like to see people dismissed. I fight hard to keep people in jobs, but I would be hard pressed to justify retaining the CEO of NCF in that position, having then disrespected the head of state. But you know, she got backings. Because you know, if you got a sick child, you could make the child a diplomat and send them over so they can get good training for good medical treatment for free. All these things happen in Barbados. So you know, when you got that kind of backing, you could treat anybody badly because nothing will happen to you. But they have gone too far, Marcia. They have gone too far.
Caswell, Brian, if I might jump in here, I really am utterly blown away by this. First of all, a number of questions have to be asked. There is a director of protocol in the Prime Minister's office, Jessica Oval. Where was she? She should not only have been there, she should have overseen the arrangements to make sure that all was right for the president. Above all, if the show is starting late, they should have made cooperation with the police, and they would inform State House that we ran there. Do not leave yet. You do not have, even for security reasons, you don't have people exposed like that. It's a disaster. It should not have happened. Where was Chantal tomorrow night?
Oh, she was about the place. She was there. Not that she went and greet the president and say, "Good night, ma'am. Welcome. Nice to see you."
I used to have experience. I used to be in charge of the NCF ministry for a while. I used to be in charge of government protocol and ceremony and various events, service the parade. And there's a certain standard for the things you do. You should be improvising and do it. There's certain that are unthinkable. And it really is a very sad reflection. No wonder we saw what we saw on stage. But if they would do this publicly, can imagine what's going on behind it. But as well, I understand my information that the president also went to the Prime Minister's fete yesterday at Elara Court. I
heard that much. I have not been able to confirm that. That's for sure that the woman is a lady, you know. Even though they disrespected her, she put it aside and went out there to these other occasions, you know. It shows the level of
maturity.
Maturity. It is ladylike. It's
Yes.
Right. Oh, okay.
behavior that comes from the president. You know, she was like me. I would have get him at least not all of my fingers, just one of them.
But there was
When they come
also
to see me,
there was also untoward behavior towards the the president yesterday in our court, for what I'm told, not to her face, but one of the very deeply embedded members of the prime minister's family, friends, and fornicators inner circle was her effing. You know, there's a protocol where the president or the prime minister car, you drive close to the person so they don't have to walk far. What? And this person was carrying on effing this and why you have to carry so close so where she can walk and carrying on. But this and this person is part of the inner circle. So it seems to be an attitude that is being demonstrated towards the president and other persons too, because they probably feel that if the prime minister doesn't like this body or doesn't approve this body, they will therefore exemplify in the behavior. But the person was loud and obnoxious and obscene in the behavior at that I'm told so today by someone who was there. And she was
but
an
but
embarrassment.
but Glenn, well, now that you're saying this, some of those same people curse me. So you mean the prime minister like me? She don't like me? Why didn't you know that?
You understand? So what I'm saying, we seem to be there with a new. You all have heard me talk about this new elite. This and I think this until recently, nobody used to define themselves as part of the political class. A political class is regarded as a group of persons impulse who now come and establish themselves as the elite. All right? And this, so I heard a couple of minutes talk about the political class. We in Barbados used to be the upper class, the middle class, the working class, or whatever. Now you have a new class called the elite class, the political class, and they have their own agenda, their own standards, and they are a disgrace to the whole society. So this kind of behavior is being demonstrated at every level of Barbados society in the public service. There are persons. I was making some inquiries too. When you talk about Brian, we'll talk about that whole bra era. Era joke. There's no regard for the rules, protocol, system, checks and balances of the public sector. Anyway, they just do things as they like because they want to be
Yeah.
out of
You
out
know,
of colonial guardian.
Mr. Murray, you're so correct. As someone said, they don't follow any rules, they don't follow any laws, no protocols. Only when it comes on to themselves, I guess. But Mr. Franklin, somebody said, and I know you want to go into bra as well, because I would love for you to do that. That again, now that we have our people on. But someone said, but if the president is not concerned about it, why should we be concerned? I mean, but didn't you say the president left the event?
The Marcia, the president is a lady. She will not go and skin up her clothes and get on bad because she was disrespected. She will walk away and keep her dignity intact. And that's what she did. She most likely would have been offended, or she would have sat down there and leaned next to the toilet that they put she next to and wait till the show start. So from all appearances, she would have been offended. She ain't communicate to me. She ain't gonna call me and tell me, Caswell, these people treat me bad. I wish she
But
would.
but
But
but but, but Caswell,
Yeah,
we have missed
we're gonna try to move on from this. So
yeah,
quick comment, Mr.
one,
Murray, quick.
one last point. You're missing a very salient point here. You're talking about the office of
the
president.
office of the
The
president, not
person that's talking
Sandra.
about the office of president, the office of prime minister. So therefore, whoever occupies it, whether they're B, D, or A, you treat them with the protocol and the status and the function deserve, require, demand. So it does not matter. Once you are president, you should be treated a certain way at all times. So there can be no excuse as to whether how she behaved at all. It should not have happened.
Yeah, I would have loved if Maxine, because we could just deal with this now and then go back. Let me see if we can get Maxine McLean, because she would have been in foreign affairs with protocol. And I mean, Mr. Murray as well. Actually, this
Yeah.
Mr. Murray I'm thinking.
Oh.
It's not Maxine McLean, it's Mr. Murray. I know you should have a lot to say on this as well. We're going
Well,
to make sure you
yeah,
talk.
at one time the Prime Minister's office had a Prime Minister had a box at Kensington, the old Kensington. And a test match is if the Prime Minister were not going to be there, I would have to host. And many days, the then Governor General Sir Clifford Husband came and had stayed for cricket. And I would meet him downstairs, and there were just things for them automatically as long as he was there to entertain him, to treat him with respect, to make sure he's comfortable. It is believable this thing can be so slipshod and casual. You know what the part of the problem, casual? You have persons who went to school with the Prime Minister, work with the Prime Minister, who the Prime Minister adopted in the public service and look after promotion, make sure they advance, set on training, etc. And they have moved through the system now. If you look at her inner circle or peer worker, there are a lot of them like that. So they only see her. That is her form of a cult of personality. She has made them. So therefore, that is all that matters for them. And they have no time and respect for any level, any person in society, especially if you're not favorably regarded by the friends, family, and fornicators.
Yeah, it is awful. I mean, this is a lady, and but look at it. This is why there's no respect. Look at this, Mr. Franklin.
Myself, honestly, I don't want to see that again.
No,
That
no,
is
no, no. But one more time.
that is concerning.
Yeah, this is the kind this is what they are pushing. This is the kind of behavior that they're pushing. I'm not saying that the prime minister cannot have fun, right? There you need to have fun, and that's one thing with Miss Mottley. She connects with the people and so on, and I admire that about her. But there's a limit, and especially when you compare that to what happened to the president, the 2 nights before. One at the finals, and then we're hearing about what she might have been treated at the party. When you put all of that together, then you see that something seemed wrong. But go ahead, Caswell.
Marcia, you got some measure of respect for this thing. I can't pick and choose, find little areas of to respect her on. The woman is totally out of order. You see this performance that you saw here at this stage? That is to appeal to the lower element. She should be above that. She should be setting an example. She should be letting people see this is how I prefer you to behave. When the little children do it at school, we had a whole bunch of noise on all kind of calling programs. This show, everything else. Somebody talking about the little children. Now you see where they get it from? They get it from the head of government, not the head of state, the head of government in Barbados. She appeals to the drug men too. You remember?
Yeah.
So when you say she connects with the people, she connects with the drug men, she connects with the lewd, bad behavior. This is not the kind of prime minister that this country is used to. We always had people who didn't have to be ashamed of. You might not like them for political reasons or whatever reasons, but we never saw them in public behaving like this low class behavior. This
Yeah.
is behavior that I would not tolerate from anybody, and certainly not the prime minister. She is there with somebody at the back of the prime minister now doing nonsense that we condemn.
Yeah.
When people say it on the word, they condemn it. I don't know where police not pull you off the stage and lock you up or something.
But the thing about it, what is so sad, as Dr. Ferdinand, I wish he would come on just for a couple minutes. I know he's a little tired, and I'm going to send Dr. Ferdinand the link, because I know the show not going the way that I planned it. But okay, he has a link there. Dr. Ferdinand, you have a link. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because there was a picture that was going around, a video, that children doing the same thing, and it was so despicable to look at. And then now we see we see our prime minister. behaving like this, so unladylike. So and then they treat a lady. Look at how they treat a lady, Dame Sandra Mason, how they treated her. And then, no, following that, look at what she is doing. And our
But
children, yeah, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Murray.
yeah, but don't forget, this seems to be a pattern of it. You said that she connects with the person. If the prime minister has to do that, I think she has to behave like that, put herself in that position to connect, where she her self this her self esteem and her regard for the office of prime minister are really quite despicable. Remember last year? Remember there was a video last year of her appearing on stage at a Court to help her to sing a song, a very popular song called "I Don't
Yes.
Give." Remember that?
Hmm. Yes, I
I
But
don't
remember.
give a F. I don't give a F. And
oh, oh,
yeah,
oh, but apart from that, I had the good fortune to to work. I worked very closely with Prime Minister Tom Adams and also Prime Minister Owen Arthur. And we'd been to dances and fetes and what. They have never allowed themselves. I realized they were both would stay away from any compromise where anybody can come and whack up on them. They say because as prime minister we cannot have the office. Not that they don't like people, but it is the office, it's the status, it's respect. They want the people's children to want to be in that office too, and that therefore can perform at a particular level, not being behaving like the hoi polloi, what you might call it. So it is an attitude of yourself, an attitude of your office and function. If you have to do that after 230 loves, after being in government since 1994, all these years, and being in politics 1991 or whatever, and you have to do that, something is wrong with your self esteem, how you regard yourself, how you have to prove it to be always a bit the lowest common denominator. It is quite sad.
yeah, yeah, very, very sad. No, I am still going to say that I think every leader, I like, I have to say she has that natural ability, but doesn't have the maturity. The prime minister doesn't have the maturity and the kind of that's the only word I could think of, because I mean, why would you put yourself in that is so low. That is, you must have fun, and you can be at the event. I've seen the Sandra Mason, and she's moving to the music. It's our culture, and so on. But Dr. Ferdinand is on. Why would she have to have somebody walking up behind her? The same thing we tell the children not to do. Mr. Dr. Ferdinand, welcome.
Well, well, good night, good night, Marcia. This is quite an unexpected pleasure of mine to be on through with you tonight. I have been following the show from the beginning. Good night, Caswell. Good night to
Good
the
night,
loyal
Freddie. Good
opposition,
night. Good to hear
and
you.
good night to my good friend Glenn. Good to see you, Glenn. And thanks for the healthy conversations that we have, my friend. But Marcia, my mother would express it this way. First of all, let me deal with the matter of the president, if I can, very quickly, and the table of precedent. And I think Glenn and you and Kazuo will support me on this. The president is actually at the top of the table in the table of precedence. Is that not correct? And followed by the prime
Absolutely.
minister, right?
Absolutely
So
correct.
that the respect that should be due, nobody, no one in any function that the governor general or now the president attends should take precedent over the president when it comes to seating, location. I don't care what it is. The president, once she or he, whoever that is in attendance, they take precedent over the even the prime minister. Now, I did see a comment by someone, I won't say who it was, that this also occurred, the aspect of the disrespect of the president also occurred at the celebration, 200th anniversary celebration of the Anglicans at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. But I'm sure the individual who mentioned that, who I saw mention that, it will treat to that in due course. So wherever she is, she should have been afforded. And I will say, panelists, that any era of this nature and significance would call for either a reprimand at the least and at the most a resignation or dismissal of the person responsible. There is no excuse for this at all. And it's not whether she is making a issue of it or we are making. The fact of the matter is principle, and that was violated. On the matter of what you just showed, Marcia, I was so embarrassed that you even had to show that, to be honest with you. And I think my comment that I quickly placed in the chat had to do with the fact that we are critical of our children. We have seen the videos of our little primary school children behaving like that. And we are critical of their families, of their parents, of their, schools and everything. And, I made comment already that one of the reasons I feel that we have the issues of crime and violence and gang violence and all that in the country is because young people look at the leadership of the country, the leadership, see how it conducts itself, and then you're going to come to tell them how to behave. They're going to ignore you, and that was an absolute disgrace. If I had seen my children behaving like that or my grandchild, she'd have got a cut on her backside. I'll tell you that right off. She could not behave like that. And you're going to have our prime minister, who is supposed to be setting an example for our youth, and she's supposed to be in connection with the youth, conducting herself in this manner. And I agree with you panelists when you state the fact. I've seen Sandra Mason enjoy herself. I have been to one or two of these events. There was one of these crop over finals that I was asked to open in prayer, and I was present, and I enjoyed the music, as we do here. At the end of our show, we play some music here, which I enjoy. But there's no need for the vulgarity. And I'll just leave it at that. I was very disappointed, but not surprised. Very disappointed,
But
but not surprised.
this is for the. I'm glad that you came on, Reverend. And I know you're not going to stay with us forever, because I know you're a little tired. But I'm glad you could come on to make the comment, because here we have what happened to Dame Sandra Mason, and here we have our Honorable Prime Minister Mia Mottley, and we look at the behaviors of these women, and I see Miss McLean is here, who I consider a lady. Miss McLean was a former senator, and though I know she loves music, and I still believe there has to be some component of the our leader of our country. I loved when I saw Sandra Mason. She was moving to the music, and people were sending it around. It's nice because she's enjoying herself and enjoying it in the culture. And so I'm happy to Dr. Ferdinand, that you were able to come on to make that comment and to draw those comparisons and so on. But Maxine McLean is on. I know Caswell, I'm going to give you back all of your time.
No,
Go
before
ahead,
you do that, before Maxine comes on, I just want to say, at least Maxine can dance.
And I
That's
can
all
tell
need
you,
to say.
and I can tell you, you will never see Maxine dance like that. Never. I can
At
say
least
that
Maxine,
right
but
off
what
the
I call
bat.
the Prime Minister doing was not dancing by any stretch of the imagination. She had
That was
absolutely
walking up.
no rhythm. Maxine
That
can
was
dance,
walking
so
up.
at least Maxine don't. Well, Maxine too.
Bless you all, man. Have a good night.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you
very.
so much. Yes. Yes.
Good night, Pastor Ferdinand.
Good to have you, Miss McLean. We are here talking. Let's first talk about what happened with Dame Sandra Mason, which is not a rumor, because Caswell did his research, and I was contacted about it today. So I'm thoroughly convinced that it happened.
Let me say, Marcia, that it happened, and I heard about it as it was happening. I was at a friend watching the show, and that we were told by somebody, the cell phones work, that the president left. Now, I don't know if you want me to continue, but
Please.
Give your opinion on it.
Let me say this. Let me say this. The government of Barbados and the head of government, the Prime Minister of Barbados, has to recognize that your personal preferences, I'm going to be diplomatic, and Kazra will probably tell your personal
you're gonna be
preferences
diplomatic,
for,
and you're gonna be diplomatic, and then we're gonna talk the things. So go
right,
ahead.
your personal preferences for informal behavior should be kept out of things like this. And I will say this, it has been happening over and over again. And in fact, I think Blaine referred to some of what I would call the kitchen cabinet, some of her in a circle. Actually, in the last several years, have been making fun when these kinds of things happen because they behave as if I put him or her in her place. Let me start with recently. I'm an Anglican. We had a 200th anniversary celebration. And Marcia, I am prepared to talk about the subject that I was going to talk about another time because this is important to us as a new nation, a country where we were taken into republic status. And again, even that process speaks to how cavalier things are done around here. But back to what I'm saying. I did not go in person to my service because I was recuperating from some flu or something. And I watched the service. But from the time I saw the order of service, I said, this is going to be a long service. Now, I have sat through the others, but I believe this was the longest of the national Anglican services. And when I saw the president and the prime minister, I said to myself, I trust that the prime minister will understand that she has to sit through this service as long as it is going on, unless the president leaves and then she chooses to leave. Lo and behold, I was told recently, because I went subsequent to the service, I went to there was an exhibition of paraphernalia from the church and so on last Sunday. And I was told by somebody that the prime minister left the service before the president left. Totally inappropriate. Unless she fell sick and had to be taken out of that room, she should not go. And I will give you an example of how you do not do things. You're familiar with the memorial, what do you call it? The Remembrance Day service that happens outside of Parliament by the cenotaph and so on. One year, I was going to that service when I was Minister of Foreign Affairs. And in directing the traffic, the police held up a lot of vehicles. And by the time I got well, they stopped us for a while and, they weren't listening. I heard sirens and I knew that was the Governor General on his way. It was Elliot Belgrave at the time, on his way. And once I saw that convoy pass and the traffic was summoned, I turned and went in the opposite direction because there was no way I was walking into that service after the arrival of the Governor General, because you're not supposed to do that. They give you times, and as Caswell said, if things are running late, you would signal to the officers at Government House, now State House, please stay put. That's not the language they would use, but they will tell you to remain in place until they signal to come. Now, I watched that show. It was an hour late. An hour late. I don't know what time the president arrived.
She was on time.
As she usually is.
At 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock. So you're sitting there because I was at a friend's house. A group of us were watching on television. And somebody even turned on their cell phone to make sure that the television hadn't, something had not gone wrong. An hour. And then you invite the president to watch a screen. Even look, sit in a blank
screen. A blank screen.
Well, that even wasn't working. Sit in arrangement. If you go to an event, let's say at a religious service, a funeral, or anything where the president, the head of state, is invited in her official capacity, you will normally not see anybody sitting with her unless they were part of her party. And even then, they usually sit ahead of everybody else. If the space is small, they may modify that. So to put the president in some obscure place And worse yet, Kazra was saying that she's seeing a portable toilet or something.
Yeah, right from her.
You know what? No, and I when this was raised with me, I asked the question, but Caswell answered that because normally before anything happens, the aide camp and maybe some other staff will go and do a recce. They go and look at the situation, ask what are the arrangements, and if they are not suitable, they will say no, this cannot work. Now, immediately that should be flagged. Now, the question I would ask is, did you go back to check? Because if it wasn't good, I don't want my head taken off. I would go back and look, you know. And these are important things. I remember coordinating the state funeral of late Prime Minister Thompson. And when I watched, and this is an example of where things go wrong. When I watched the state funeral for late Prime Minister Arthur, I was aghast. There were so many mistakes. And I will say this now publicly. When they were making the preparations for the funeral of Sir Lloyd Erskine Sandiford, I asked somebody to please contact his family and offer, because normally you have assistance given to the relatives and so on, that I was prepared to do it because I knew what had gone wrong. And I certainly wanted as best as I could to make sure that things don't go wrong. But back to this whole thing. Caswell, yes, I like to dance. But I'll tell you this, even in private places, once you are a public figure, you have to be conscious of those things. I will be at a party and somebody my mother would tell you, if she were here now with us, she's gone to her grave many years, but she would tell me, yeah, I like to dance. And she would tell me, you can't dance. So yes, young people, whatever. But if somebody takes out a camera, I said, excuse me. And I can't guarantee what you're doing, so I would stop. Because sometimes people pretend to be looking and you can tell that they're filming you. In essence, you need to understand. And I put it very simply, Marcia, how, when, and where, you know? And that is important. Yes, you can be, and people say the Prime Minister is a people person. A lot of us are people persons. But you also need to understand that with positions come certain kinds of expectations. And so, and frankly, I would join you. If she could have danced, I wouldn't. I can't even say I wouldn't mind. But you know, come on. I used the word the other day. I think I use it here. She just not obzocky. I'm sorry.
But you know,
that's the kind of humor in the thing. But look, standards are important. And there's a time and place for everything. I remember having to take some students when I was on campus through this, when some of them turned up for a job. It was an accounting firm coming on campus to do presentations, and people turn up in what I call hot shorts and all kinds of dingy t-shirts, etc. And I said, look, you know, if you come to class like that, that's your choice. But if you're going to talk to a prospective employer, why are you going to present yourself that way? We are a new, and I'll tell you, we are a new nation. Let me get back to this. I have had diplomats say things to me about some of what they see to be the goings on, because they observe and they know how things are done, and and it may come across as, oh, this is all right and down to earth and so on. That's fine. Do that when you're in you're out picnicking with your constituents. And even then, at the end of the day, as a public person, you are, as long as you're in the position, you're that office holder,
Yeah. Somebody's saying here that I'm taking up for the PM, and I think they misunderstand what I'm saying. And it's okay if I take up for the PM, because we kind of, everybody can offload on the PM. I am saying that I like the fact that she naturally, and if I can't tell, like, the woman naturally works, she goes towards, she's connecting with people. That's what I'm saying. She's a good networker. She can connect. It's just about time, place, and how, as Maxine
No,
says.
there's nothing natural about it. She's being managed. She is shy.
But let me finish what I'm saying, that I don't agree. Let me be very, very clear in what I'm saying, viewers. I am in no way sanctioning this behavior. I think it is disgusting. I think that is out of place. I think that this is a bad example. I am saying that she needs to have some kind of moral compass, that she knows how to behave, because the children are looking on this, and this is very, very terrible, actually.
The Prime Minister does have a compass, a moral compass, but it doesn't point north. That's the problem. She believes she can do what she likes. What you see all the children going to school now. But they heard government talking about grooming policy, and children going to school looking like big, like ragtag people looking. I'm not gonna say I've never seen it anywhere at all, even in jurisdictions where children don't wear uniforms. They look better than the ones that we have now in uniform, because the government has relaxed the standards on everything. This poor woman here that was telling us about praying a couple of weeks ago, I know she forget everything about praying. Mind you, but she said 5 minutes though. So
was it prayer or a moment of silence? I was out the island. Was it 5 minutes of silence or prayer?
It was prayer. She wanted to pray for 5 minutes. And so the 5-minute prayer time, praying gone. This woman is so inconsistent. It's even funny. I think she just likes to get noticed, and any type of notice is good for her.
Council?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I'd like to take this debate a little away from the president, because there's a saying, in the same way we are offended, and I too join the condemnation of the offense, say behavior extended towards the president. I spoke about it earlier extensively. There's another big problem: the disrespect being shown to the public by holding major functions at what I call the big cane ground. It is nothing more than a big cane ground. There's a saying, you can't make a silk purse out of a south ear. You can't get. This is not ready for those temperatures. That is why you will have the chemical toilets next door to the private, because they're not built-in facilities for that. But you're trying to make sure that you feel you're doing the public a favor by calling a botanical garden. Botanical by gardens are not by nature. They are there where plants are the center of attention, study, display. It's a totally different culture, totally different outlook. But when you want to prove you're doing something big, for have the fundamentals. I also spoke to 3 women called me today. We were talking about it. They went to the big cane ground on Friday night. They were very dismissive of the whole show. They said they had to walk through mud and rain long distance to get to toilets too. So it is not fair to put these people in positions where they cannot answer their nature's call. Men or women, it is not fair. I think it's undignified. It is not fair. It's not good enough. What you're trying to prove that they can sell for anything, but you wouldn't. It's an incentive until you get a proper facility at the big cane ground. Forget it. It is unfair, unjust, it's demeaning, undignified, degrading. Have somebody walk through mud and do other things that they have to do because they have no choice. They're human beings. It is wrong. You know the conditions. And it should not. Enough is enough. It is breeding opportunity for disrespected persons, not only the president, but general public. They too have their worth and their value, their status and their dignity. And they should go places where they can have like the gymnasium or Lauderkers and those where there are standards and people are. It is not any and everything will do for certain people just to say you got a botanical garden.
It is not a botanical garden. It's a place where the locals are made to feel local and they're big up by this local. Because You reserving Kensington Oval and those places for international people and can put our people on the campground. I am never going. Trust me on that. The last time I went there, and I can admit to you now, because the statute of limitations is gone, I went in Brett Case when I was going to school. Being a friend in school, you're going there and start in the middle of the ground. That's what it's there
Newsflash.
for.
But
I said newsflash. I am understanding. So let me ask the question. Has Soca 5.0 gotten, has it been canceled? I'm hearing it was canceled halfway in the show. I'm wondering why. What was that show supposed to be about? Anybody knows?
I have no idea. I don't follow.
I think that was a celebrate about the same 5.0 is 50.
Oh, the 50. Okay.
The 50th
Okay,
anniversary is right.
Guys, send it to me, Miss McLean. I have somebody I can send it to right away to get the correct information to verify. So just send me what you
What the person sent me. Okay.
Yeah. But somebody sent just a couple of things, Mr. Franklin, that some persons are saying here. Chantel Monroe Knight and Carl Roberts are too full of themselves. But that is what happens when you sideline John King, and I'm in total agreement about that. John King, one of the best minister of culture that we have, and second to my friend Stephen Lashley. Those are two good men. It's such a shame that the president should have been treated this way. This is someone writing in. When it was the white man treating us like filth, everyone cried out, but our own fellow black people doing the same, right? And so we're getting a lot of comments, and people are commenting on the fact that she had just called for she said the panel needs to be reminded that Mottley was involved in the farce of a prayer last weekend. Well, we all knew that, and gone to stick out our tongue taking communion. Someone said there was one prime minister, Mr. Franklin, and others, that the bishop passed them over and didn't give them the communion. They should have done that with her. I don't know what she gone taking no communion, and look at the kind of behavior. My big thing with this behavior tonight is about the example to the little children. Everybody should go back, Mr. Murray, and reflect on how we felt when we saw those children behaving that way on that school bus. It is a bad example that the leader of the country is setting. She is out of touch with what is going on, and it's just about her own agenda.
No, she's very much in touch. That is what she wants. She wants to bring people down to her level. That's the level that she's at, She's very much in touch, but that's why everything is being relaxed in this country. Bad behavior, what we consider to be bad behavior, is okay for her. That is why she would be on the stage behaving the way that she behaved, simply because she wants to normalize that type of behavior in Barbados.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just got a note here. This show is canceled because of weather.
Right, it's postponed. Postponed.
But this. Sorry, go ahead, Marcia.
No, I wanted to clarify that it's not canceled; it's postponed.
Postponed. Okay, but it was actually happening though, because the person said the show was halfway or something. I don't know.
Oh.
If
that
it
is
has
that
started.
is great planning for you.
But you see, it takes you to what Glenn was saying, that you have, but they're major events, and the other thing in terms of planning, that for something like this, because if it's a 50th anniversary show, and I can only draw my experience, I seem to have been put to coordinate a number of things, and we had a year of celebration for our 50th anniversary, a whole mix of things, and you involved, I mean, it was a massive team. You involved the police, the defense force, the various ministries, culture, whoever, etc. But a critical part of planning in those kind of events were contingency plans.
Yes.
For example, I would never forget, it was Hurricane Tomas. It was that passed through Barbados as a tropical storm a day or two before the state funeral for David Thompson, Prime Minister Thompson.
Yes.
And we had to make a decision. And I remember saying to my colleagues, I am not taking this decision by myself, whether to move it to the gymnasium or stay at Kensington Oval. And I said this is not a decision I am taking by myself because and a decision was taken to stay there. I mean, we had a bit of drizzles, but again, the nature of the setup and everything would have allowed it to continue unless you really had extremely heavy rain. But I heard of the previous activities there, and essentially you're on a large open field. A garden would have a lot more plants. I mean, I guess it's a garden in the making if they're going to utilize the space. So I wouldn't challenge that. But we know that with rain. So my thing is, if you had an event there this weekend and rain is forecast, nowadays the truth is you can get a pretty accurate forecast up to 15, 20 days out, When I travel, I check the weather. And you look and for something like this, if you've had traffic, heavy traffic on that particular space, do you want to put, I mean, if it's dry season, that's one thing, but we're in the hurricane season. So rain is very much a part of what's happening. So if you have an event there, do you want to have multiple events at a time when rain is very much part of the picture?
But
And I would
Maxine,
say no.
you remember several occasions when they were planning for the Independence Day parade.
That's right.
We had things for, and we went to the harbor
Yes.
because we knew that rain was coming. I mean, all the team that you talk about that they should have planning, police, and all kind of thing, they should have get Sabo best too. But let me check with him, because I was hearing all along that we can get rain over this weekend, Sunday and Monday and whatever else. You think they may hear it too?
Before I went to church this morning, I checked the weather because I heard a bit of rain. A fairly heavy shower came down. And I looked to determine whether I was going to continue to get ready for my 7:15 service or whether I should wait for the 8:45 service. And then I looked to see what the forecast is for tomorrow and so on. And as you said, it is there, so you can plan around. But and as I said, I would not, if I were advising anybody, I would not put what I would call heavily trafficked activities in that space back to back.
I think Pedro Jamat means inception, because this conception has a different view, different connotation. He says little children. These people hit children from conception.
I don't know.
If I might, Chad Castle spoke about his breaking cane at Codgerton. I also had many years experience in exploring I grew up in a few gaps down the road called Chapel Gap School. So I ran about there, break cane, the watchman run nearly caught me a couple of times. And it really is nothing but a cane ground. That's why I call it big cane ground.
Yeah,
it is cultivated for hundreds of years in cane. That used to be the center of the West Indies Cane Breeding Association, with all kind of canes, breed different varieties. Canes were bred and tested. And it was a magnificent place. You could buy plants and things. So that was fully agriculture. And just because you put a few benches on the name, it does not make it a botanical garden. I've researched some botanical gardens. Botanical gardens were for many, many centuries. They're all over the world. And they have not been able to. I Googled some to see what entertainment spaces they have. And what entertainment is very limited for certain types of activities. But to put people on a big cane ground, like the person there on Friday night, apparently they had some chairs. It was on growing grass. Any drizzle, you inconvenience them. If the place is not covered, and that's better, put in a cover, otherwise you don't have it. But you can't just have certain people exposed to the elements just to prove you give them a free concert. Circus and braid, that is Mottley's, the Prime Minister is, it seems she wants to be what's called a populist. Where you feel that you're like an athlete disadvantage, people are taking a mind, but I can pay you. I'm doing everything to please you. And it really boils down to you entertain them with cheap things like holy. The colonials went to Africa with baubles and beads and bangles and glass. It is trinkets. This is nothing substantial that leaves anything to society. I think is a major disservice Dr. Barbados to put that as promote it too. I've seen it's from being promoted as a as a botanical garden. Nothing like that. Only, but even in St. Vincent, which has had a botanical garden for 1680 something, it's focused on
Right.
plants and nature. Yeah, yes,
You, you,
Martin.
you touched on something there, and you know, there are a lot of contradictions.
Before you go on there, Ms. McLean, let me just say something. I'm seeing that Sunshine is in the studio, and I want to acknowledge that because I promised people that at 9 o'clock they can come on for 5 minutes to say why they are tired of this government. But I'm going to ask you, Ms. McLean, just to be very short in your comments, and then let me go to Sunshine in honor of
Yeah,
that.
no, it's fine. I was just going to say to Glenn, there lies the contradiction of this so-called populist mentality. Remember, you talked about the failure to give work to the young Barbadians by bringing in somebody from Trinidad and so on, when in fact a 50th anniversary celebration should really be celebrating our people. But go ahead, Marcia.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. McLean. And I know that we had something else planned, but we kind of just flowing. We're going to flow with it tonight. So Sunshine is on, and he is in New York, and I believe it's New York that he is in, and he is over 80 years young, Dr. Mr. Murray, and he loves Barbados, and he's one of those that he speaks his mind. So I'm having the clock right here, and everybody that comes on have 5 minutes, and then we will do a little comment and have others on. Okay, so let me let Sunshine go ahead. Good night, Sunshine. Go right ahead.
Good night, everyone on the panel. My respects, my love, and my sincere greetings, and hope you all be safe and be bold and outspoken, and do not hold back from speaking truth. Because today truth is censored and called disinformation and misinformation, and the reason for that is to suppress the truth, because the devil is a liar. But let me get to the point right now here. I am sick and tired and have a sense of disgust with the Mayor administration in that he have used cunning and outright deceit rhetoric when she said, give me the votes and watch me. She talks a good talk, but she never walks a walk. I am sick and tired of her failure to address the vital needs of the people and her aloof and at times her insulting attitude. Remember the time when she told the people during COVID, you all can't even pronounce a word. Very insulting for an intelligent people who have a 98% literacy rate. I am tired and sick. Despite the millions of dollars she received from foreign entities, while the only healthcare facility on the island has allowed it to fall into disrepair and unable to give critical emergency care. Recently, I have a cousin there that needs some emergency care. I went to the Clueless hospital and told she had to come back in 3 months. Well, she would have been dead. So she had to go to a private clinic, and I had to send them a few $100 there that she could go and pay a private clinic. Suppose she didn't have me to help her to go and get health care. That is responsibility of the Mayor government to provide critical free health care to its residents. She was able to use an emergency facility on Harrison Point, which they call a death camp, to quarantine people during COVID and give them bad medicine, and then want to bury them in an empty casket as she burned the body up, and I fought that. So why can't we have healthcare facilities in various locations on the island? Suppose we should have one in Holton. We should have one on 6 Roads from Phillip. We could have one in Oystein, or vice versa, whereby people can access these places instead of just relying on the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, who do not have effective doctors and nurses there. Okay, we can have trained local nurses and doctors who can address these needs. When I was a boy, I had a doctor in Villanova. You had a doctor on Horace Hill. And between the two of those, you can assess good critical health care. So Mia is failing, and I'm tired of this. Now, again, I'm tired and I'm sick that what is going on is that pension rights are being eroded and taken away. Are the people who are, she don't want to pay the pensions. She wants to go against the unions and the people rights to give them what is due to them. What's with that? Why you want to cut people's pensions at a critical time when things are so hard? No, pension deserve their rights. I'm also sick and tired of the land theft and the piracy, whereby you can allow foreign entities to come in and obtain critical land and infrastructure over the local people, and in a lot of cases, people properties have been stolen. There are people who right now do not have the resources to fight back to get back their property that is stolen from them. You tell me about that. You tell me about what is going on. Is your sort of project, other projects that's going on, whereby people are obtaining these places illegally by the aid and abetting of me and her piracy administration. I'm tired of that. That Barbados belongs to Barbadians. From sea to shore, and no foreign person should be allowed to come in and take away these rights. Now, I'm also sick and tired of the governmental overreach, whereby they could lose the social media to censor what people say or do on social media. A lot of time every post is removed is because the government's paid the social media mogul to police what we say and do to stifle our free speech. We have to fight back against that. I'm also tired of the gaslighting and the way that the government will try to make people believe that they are the only ones who are the arbiters of truth, when they are the purveyors of lies and cunning and misinformation to the people and keep the people in ignorance.
Sunshine, we have 1 more minute. Just letting you know. Go right ahead.
So I'm wrapping up. Again, I'm tired and sick of the laws being enacted in the background without the people having input, which laws takes away every right and privilege from the people, and that is what the mayor administration is doing. And I'm sick and tired of all these laws that is done without input to the people. That is dictatorial, and that must not stand.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sunshine. Over 80 years young, I tell you. And
83. I'm 83.
he is 83 and loves Barbados like what? Thank you for your donations. This man, he tries to make sure that when we have our marches, so he's not just a talker, but he sends donations from the diaspora to help us. Thank you so much and have a good night, Sunshine.
You're welcome. Keep the fight up. I never give up.
Thank you. Thank you. Any quick comment before somebody else comes in? Remember, what are we doing tonight? We've sent out the link and we're asking you to come in and to say why you're tired of the Mottley government. We're just asking you, don't call people's names, right? And so on. Just say government, what you're tired about the government, because we don't have any buttons to stop certain things from coming up. Excellent, Sunshine. He talked about healthcare, pension rights being eroded, government overreach, gaslighting, and the laws being enacted without people's consent. Maxine, I think you wanted to go quickly on that before.
Muted.
Muted.
Sorry, as I was listening to Sunshine and I reflected on the discussion of the calamity and the catastrophe and the confusion. I like alliteration, you must forgive me. The whole, it seems as though this administration cannot get anything right. Everything. In fact, I was just going through a conversation and it made me ask a question. Is it only the rain, or I hope, let me ask a question. Let me ask, how does it normally happen when we have these artists come in to perform and so on, local versus foreign? What are the payment arrangements? And what happens if people don't get paid properly? Mull over that. Go ahead, Marcia.
Well, I'm waiting for others to join. Anybody wants to comment specifically on anything, Mr. Caswell, or that has been said by Sunshine?
No,
If I,
Sunshine hit the nail on the head, you know. And it is amazing that he is out of the jurisdiction, but he's so well in tune with what's happening in Barbados, and the people who are here and suffering don't want to say anything. I don't even speak up. I don't know. The biggest problem is fear. People don't want to speak up, but he's not afraid, and he got connections in Barbados.
Yes. Yes, yes. Mr. A quick comment from Mr. Murray, and then I'm waiting for others to come on. Come on,
yes,
guys. Use the link. Use the link. I'm coming, Mr. Murray. Use the link and come on. You can copy this link, and you can use your laptop or your cell phone, and come on and tell us: are you tired of this government? Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Murray.
no, I was just going to remind Sunshine that some of the things he mentioned that should be there were where health is concerned. Health centers, he picked up Spice Town, Six Roads, Bridgetown, all these things. There were the centers of health centers, which eventually became
Local government.
polyclinics. Yeah, for years. And he recognized it because the society at the time recognized the central points. These were very central to different parts of the island. What has happened now is that everything is in shambles. Polyclinics don't function. They don't have equipment. I remember going to an UN AIDS conference in New York, and I was beseeched by the Americans to come and visit this new health facility that they want. That we have to say they hear so much of Barbados. They want to tell us about and show us this thing. I wasn't going to go, but then they said, okay, I'll go. And we got a lot of fast sirens and all kind of. We go there, we about a kid of water, almost like the president. And when we got there, and we were shown just a community center, health center. I told them, and I had to burst their bubble. They said, this is something we recommend. I said, sorry, sir. We've been doing this since the 50s, 40s, and 50s. We do this all the time. The poor, it was Thompson, Fred Thompson, over there was Minister, Secretary of Health. And so I'm saying that what we are not doing now is things that we were doing, things that we were doing in the past. We have just lost, or when Arthur said, he said he lost their way, he's lost its soul. Because of the soul, the feeling, the intensity, the
Yes.
philosophy, we're still there. A lot of things that happen would not either not happen at all or not to the extent of it. Because there be curbs on them, but they're no limit.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Murray. I'm going to ask Sunshine, we would love for you to stay in the studio, but we don't have the space. So what we're going to ask you, as soon as you're finished, that you actually leave the studio and go back to watch the show on YouTube, all right? So unfortunately, I have to put you out again, Sunshine. You are one of my favorite people, but we're going to ask you to watch the show on YouTube, all right? Because I can only have a certain number of people inside the studio itself. Well, I see Paul Messiah here. Good night, Paul Messiah. And you have
That's a good
welcome,
night,
and you have 5 minutes to tell us why you are tired of this, or are you tired of this government? And 5 minutes to tell us why or why not.
Yeah, bless a good night to all.
Just speak
This
up a
is
bit,
why
Paul.
I am
You're
tired.
speaking really low key. You speak up a little, please.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, yes, much better. Even a little more volume would
Right.
be great.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. I probably got to shout this one out.
Yes.
This this is why I am tired of this government. I call it the bad alphabet. A, absence in priorities. They want to pay consultants to pass every bill, but Republican constitution is overlooked. B, breaches, an act of breaking or failing to observe an agreement or code of conduct. When we place our X, it was for the government to look after our interests. C, connection. A recent video on the town hall meeting about why the increase in water bills shows there is no connection. Football and cricket to fight crime equals no connection. A government twice by the people against the people has no connection to the people. D, deaf. Just don't want to hear the real issues of the people. Deaf on the integrity bill, deaf on public accounts committee, deaf on investigation in abandoned projects. E, empty of what it means to feel what the people feel. F, finance, failure to keep promises. G, gross disrespect to police and citizens. H, headstrong, self-willed, what they want. I, insult to citizens' intelligence. Jokers, every bill you laughing at us. Killers of confidence. L, liars, I refuse to explain. Merciless. M, N, non-conformers. They don't conform to the issues of the people. O, opportunists. P, pride, seems to take pride in our hardships. Party, that likes the party. Q, quiet, they don't listen to the real experts. R, republic, without constitution. S, sinister in governance. T, truthlessness. U, uneasiness, and that is how the people feel. V, violence. W, wickedness. X, not getting money. Y, your foul feeders. Z, zero tolerance for bad governance. And this is why I only have, well, not this is why, and this is only 5 minutes of why I am tired of this government.
And I tell you, you still have a minute. You still have a minute to walk on. But I love this one. X, not getting mine. that, that had me. That really, really had me. Caswell, you're listening to Paul here, and he had from A to Z of why he is tired of this motley government. Caswell, what are your thoughts
No,
on
I like it, you know, and honestly, I like X best of all. You know, then I let you then get money either, you know, and but you know he could go around again, you know, because this step test is so bad that he could go back A1, B1, B2, and go right to another list of behavior because this government seems not to know or understand how to govern.
Yes, 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 yes. I tell you, this is so good, very good. Somebody says, "Well done, sir." Listen, so we are congratulating him, but you can come on, all right? You can use the time and come on. The rain is falling outside anyway. We don't have nowhere to go. Come on, man, and let us talk. And we're going through a whole lot of things in this country, and they want us to shut up. But we're gonna talk. Paul, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And as we go on, we want to keep this kind of segment in the program, some more to hear from people. So get ready, okay? Thank you so much. And we're going to kindly ask you to leave the studio so that others can come on, okay? Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Yes, Mr. Murray, any quick thoughts on that before we bring in Teroni, before Teroni starts?
To get ready. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to kindly ask you to leave the studio so that others can come on. Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, I'm not sure what went on there, but
Oh,
very creative.
Teroni probably watching, or somebody else is watching in his house the show, so that they will have to turn off so that we don't
No,
hear
no,
that feedback. But quickly,
no,
quickly, Mr. Murray, real quick.
it's a very creative piece. Well done, speaks for itself. You shouldn't really try to gild the lily. It's a good piece of work. Let it stand on its own and to be complimented for it.
Yes, most definitely. Okay, Teroni. Hopefully, Teroni, you have turned off all the your I don't know if it's your mom, because I know your mom watched me every night. So I don't know if it's your mom that's watching. But Teroni's been almost at every march. Teroni, good night. How are you doing?
Yeah, yes, good night, lawyer opposition
Yes,
and the lawyer family.
yes,
I'm
sir.
sick. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of this government because of this corruption, dictatorship. Want to goddamn technicals and everything in Barbados and everyone. And how we something is running Barbados is very reversal. People is losing jobs, losing their apartments, losing their livelihood, and it could be better. But there's too much corruption and too much darkness and sinister acts they're doing. So once you disconnect from the Almighty or Almighty Maker that make us,
Hmm.
that's when you go around. So when you check the cost of living in Barbados and people losing their jobs, that's what it's crying. That's what it's for. Like, I feel that a lot can be done for the young people, but less is done for the young people. Even if you're in a job, you lose your job because you're on the bandwagon of this government. So when you check it, a lot of people in Barbados are afraid to speak out, but they should come out and speak out. But separation in Barbados is the highest level. We are into the dark ages.
Mm.
A lot of people going to welfare, not successful, and even they're going to different like entities for help, and these entities don't have enough finance to do that. So that's a very horrible thing.
Mm.
So how this government could go to place jonesing and like we still partying, and the country is in a dire situation of a very serious crisis. How you can able to sleep at night and poor people are suffering, losing the jobs, losing the homes, even far more losing a family. I feel more
Correct.
could be done in Barbados, and I feel they need a spiritual cleansing in the government
Yeah. Thank
because
you.
when everything boils down, we need a great country, not a country that we in horror.
Yes, it is a horror story. You have 1 more minute.
Yes, and it's 1 minute. I will let it tell all the young people that is a connective between the with the young and the old, but mostly the young is for tomorrow. The young people need to come out, make a stance. Also, like how I am, why they're sick of the government, and etc. Because at the end of the day, we have a future, and with this government, is no future.
Yes, well said, Teroni. I'm so happy that you came on. I see you there on Saturdays, and listen, you told me I'm coming on. I'm coming on. And every
Yes,
night,
I'm a
go ahead. You were saying something.
yes, I'm a gentleman of my word. I'm
Yes.
40 years old, and I have two sons. And I would like my two sons to be like a warrior, like a positivity warrior.
Yes.
Want to
Yes.
build life to see a future, so their children could be on a good, could be on a good path.
Yes. 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 Thank you so much, Tyrone, for being, for coming on. You're really patriotic Barbadian. Thank you so much. God bless you. Again, I'm going to ask you to officially leave the studio so that Pauline and some of the others can come in. Okay? Thank you, sir. Well
Okay, a
said.
positivity
Very
night
well
to
said.
all, and God bless.
Yes, so proud of you. Very well said. Again, panelists, anything there that you wanna commend on? I know that he had to fight hard to come on here, and I commend him for doing that. Anything anybody wants to add?
And well, he noted the situation of young people, and that's an important point that we have to remember. Right? He said, with this government, there's no future. And one of the concerns, and I touched on that because of some of what I was going to talk about, and we'll get to talk about another time, is that at the end of the day, a lot of this focus on short-term gratification and enjoyment. At what to what end is the question I would ask, and what are we seeing being done to really make sure that we start to think of long term for the young people of this country? But I see
Yes,
somebody else is on, so
yes, yes. Mr. Murray, you had a quick comment, Mr. Murray?
It's fine. Just let the conversation flow. I'm interested in hearing the views of the
Yes.
public too.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Hello, Pauline. It's great to have you. That's the name that I saw came up on the screen. Good night, ma'am.
that,
Okay, let's see. Are you muted?
yep.
You're muted, Pauline. Hmm. We had some challenges there. Device is not connected. Well, guys, we have put the link. Here's the link. It's right there on the screen, and I think this is a good time for us to be able to speak up. We don't have any work tomorrow, and we hear and we seem like, I'm not sure. I'm also getting words that some other event that was supposed to be on tomorrow, another big event, is being postponed till Tuesday, but I don't know. I don't want to call the name of the event, and I'm waiting to get some more information on that. But we are here, and we are talking about our country, and this is our country. I see people in the chat trying to bring up this whole thing. Anyway, I won't even pay any mind to them. But listen, I am a Barbadian, you hear? And there's nothing you going to tell me that going to tell me anything else. All right. So let's go to everybody on there having problems with their devices. Pauline and Lucinda, if you can hear me, please leave the studio and try to re-enter. Anybody else who wants to come on, you can go ahead and take the a copy of the link there, and you can put the link in your phone or in your laptop. As Mr. Murray says, it's good to hear from the people. We want to hear from you. This is about you, your thoughts. You might think that you're not sick and tired of the government, and you can come on as well and share your views on that. But are you? That's why the question it says, "Are you tired of this government?" And you can come on. Okay, I'm seeing Lucinda, but the devices are not connected, Lucinda. So you need to connect the devices. Okay. All right. So anybody else? Nobody else is on as yet. So let's continue. Caswell, while we're waiting for people to come on, can you start to talk to us about draft? Would that be
Yes, it is my pleasure. I'm going to do it quickly because I don't want to cut back up because I'm enjoying the other people who are
yeah?
coming
What
on.
we'll do, we'll break. If they come on, we'll take a break and then we'll go back. Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
If Dave could pull up the things I sent him last week, because I want to do that quickly. The two with this house at the top.
Dave is not here, but there's someone else that we're asking to get it up for you. So very soon, yes. Go ahead, sir.
Well, okay. Well, until Dave gets or till his deputy Dave gets it going, this house belongs to the person at Bra who changed the rates for the people in St. Philip and other places around the place, right? Mind you, he is known for changing rates, but he wouldn't change the rate for this one. This house, this property is valued at $425,000, and he pays a grand total tax of $125 a year. Right? This house is palatial. It's mind you, this same man, when a taxpayer objected to this house yeah, you can look at that there, right? This house is valued, as I said, at $425,000. Now, if you will let me share another photo with you, the second one, this one, right? These, let me go. Okay, so since we have this one, these houses belong to people at Bra, right? And these houses are valued about half of what you should be paying. And what bothers me is the one at the top belongs to the technical specialist, and the one at the bottom belongs to the person responsible for enforcement. Now, if you were paying less tax than you were supposed to be paying, that is the person who would go after you, the one at the bottom. If you can pull up the thing. This house is valued at something like $450,000. These two palatial things. And the reason why they said the one at the bottom, and the Prime Minister went off with that one too, is that they said it is in a flood-prone area, so that's why the taxes are lower. But their immediate next-door neighbors, on either side of the house, don't happen to be in a flood-prone area, and their houses are valued more, even though they are single-story. So the pink house is valued at less than the neighbors who have a house that's half the size of this one, right? Okay. Now let me show you the picture now that is valued at $550,000 to compare with the palatial thing at the top. This one, a taxpayer was assessed at $550,000, and he objected. Bra sent valuers out to revalue the house, and they reduced the value to $450,000. Now the man with the palace, the palatial lot, the palatial house that we saw, valued at $425,000. He objected, and because he's the senior person, he restored the value to $550,000. This house that you're seeing now is $550,000, while his, that is more than twice the size of this one, is only valued at $425,000, and he is paying Bra $125 a year as taxes. This is not a mistake, as the Prime Minister said. This is absolute corruption. The problem with him is that when the Prime Minister and the people at Bra appoint these people, especially people at the commissioner level, at least they should know something about what they're responsible for. And the commissioner, the revenue commissioner, knows nothing about land tax. She knows nothing about licensing, and she might know a little bit about income tax because she's working in accounting firms. And they said Brad had a particularly bad track record in collecting monies. I don't know what he said. Caswell is talking nonsense. Brad has a particularly bad track record in collecting monies. I don't know what he's talking about, because Brad was designed to be a collector of government revenue, the ones that were in arrears. They shipped Brad from being the Central Revenue Authority that it was supposed to be to collect the arrears, to make it responsible for all tax collection because it was going to be more efficient. Now, if they were supposed to be more efficient than the individual tax entities, that is not my problem. That's the government's problem. That's the government going ahead, listening to bad advice and forming one agency, and mind you, they are doing a lot worse than the individual agencies that they replaced. There was no problem with the workings of Inland Revenue and Licensing Authority and Land Tax. It is just that when it came to arrears, they had no mechanism for dealing with arrears. They didn't have the staff. So government wanted to put the collection of the arrears into an organization. So even after 3 months, all those entities would have sent the money over to the Central Revenue Authority. But they changed it up to become BRA, and BRA is not responsible for everything. And that's not my fault. And because they have a bad track record, it's because they don't know what they are doing. Instead of collecting the arrears and doing what they're supposed to do, they set about raising the taxes of people who's without any authority in law. If you look at the order, when they're talking about if you have a piece of land over 2,000, over 2 acres, then they put that. There's no such thing in the law. That was something that somebody at BRA came up with to penalize people to make more money because they were not doing the job they were supposed to do, and they had targets that the IMF has imposed on the government and subsequently on BRA. And what they did, they robbed taxpayers. And the Prime Minister came out and said it was a mistake. It was not a mistake. Apparently, when she see more money coming, she get excited. But there was no law in place to collect that money. None. So people like Sonia Brown and by other people in St. Philip and other places who had to pay 250% more tax and that kind of thing, they didn't do it as a result. They do it because this man who is paying $125 a year, he can carry up people's taxes by 250%.
Wow.
This was not a government initiative. This was an individual who decided that he's going to take this step. So I'm not blaming ministers for raising the tax. I am blaming them because when they realized that it was done, they should have said, sorry, where you get that authority from? But in all these greedy politicians. And to think that these two houses, this one is valued far more than this one. You can't believe it now.
Yeah.
This is the most expensive house. The more expensive house. And you have this mansion. As a matter of fact, this should be a business. And paying taxes as a business rather than a house. But when you have corruption pervading the entire system at BRA, this is what you're going to get. And government needs to, instead the Prime Minister needs, rather than to go and jump up on stage, she should be there burning the midnight oil, trying how to fix these problems. Because there are problems.
Yes.
And people are suffering as a result. We saw a man on the stage say he's went up from a couple of $100 to $4,000, without any order by the minister, any amendment to the land tax thing in Parliament, nothing. These are just individuals at BRA who going and change people taxes. And I
Yes.
said the owner of this house is what the fellow called the technical specialist. And this is too technical.
Well, you know what? You tell us more about that after we talk to Lucinda here, because this is very what you're talking about there is very important. As you said, it's not an initiative of government, but this is now the staff. The allegation is against important staff within BRA. So let's go to Lucinda, because we all want to hear from our viewers. And Lucinda, we are asking people, the first question is, are you tired of this government? I think I know who this Lucinda is. Are you tired of this government? And you have 5 minutes, Lucinda, to tell us if you're tired, to tell us why you're tired. If you're not tired, to tell us why you're not tired. Go right ahead. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm just sick and tired of this corruption, this dictator, and this delegate at the same time. Well, as you know, as I told you, I'm not at home. I'm in the UK. And seeing that video that I saw with Farah in that position that she was in, it was so disrespectful and distasteful. I could not even let my grandchildren that had come to spend holiday and my son-in-law and daughter see. I was so ashamed, sick and tired. And somebody like a PM that wants to be on the world stage, not the world stage with these kind of things that we are seeing. Barbadians, we are not accustomed to this common behavior carrying on and carrying on. And so much things need to be done in Barbados, and money is being borrowed and borrowed and borrowed and doing so much stupidness with it. I think that the government has lost its way. And I don't see at this point only the creator Christ, not the other gods, like how RPM said there are other gods. The creator that made us and formed us is going to have a hand in this, and it's to change this dictatorship. It is nothing that me personally, a senior citizen, 70 plus. I was born in the mid-50s, and I am going to say tonight, this morning, it is morning here in Britain. Let me say something. She has got to go. We are sick and tired of her behavior, her performance. She has lost her way. She has lost her way. And anybody or everybody that all over the world that is seeing and looking at this, because this, I am here and people in London send this link to me with this show, not realizing that I would have been on it. It is a laugh, a joke when we see here what is going on. Miss Weeks, keep up the good show, Mr. Caswell. I'm very proud of you, Miss Maxine. I love Miss Maxine and Mr. Marie. Good people, decent folk that born in the time when decency was sharing in Barbados, and our parents brought us up in a decent manner, not to carry on the world stage and then get to convict and want to condemn people and call him for 5 minutes of worship and prayer. You can't take down Jesus and put him back up. He's a everyday God. He's a every minute God, a every second God in our lives. And we have got to pull ourselves together. And I will continue to follow this show. And when I am at home, I'll be behind Miss Weeks wherever she goes and contribute to this worthy cause. Love you all. See you soon. God bless you tonight and keep you in his attitude. Keep going on and fighting for Barbadians, fighting for me, a senior citizen. Thank you very much. Love you.
Love you, Lucinda. Oh wow, that was powerful. That was powerful. Very, very clear and direct. And she has a right to be able to speak her mind. And as we say, the Kenyans told us something, Mr. Murray. The Kenyans say that when we lose our fear, they lose their
They
power.
lose their
And
power.
yes, and we are going to, Mr. Franklin, it will be so good over the next couple of weeks to keep having this hour at the end for the people to speak. I know you've always wanted that, and for them to speak when we lose our fear, they lose their power, and our Barbadians are speaking up. Let me hear from Mr. Murray. Any thoughts
Yeah.
on what you just heard, Mr. Murray?
Um, I heard she was very, Lucinda was very powerful. She brought back memories of a term, a Bajan term I hadn't heard for a long time. When decency was sharing out. I haven't heard that. I'm sure Maxine have. I mean, that's beautiful. And that reminded me of the earlier one, I think, one of the gentlemen who spoke from New York talked about separation. I mean, those are gems of, there's no term to represent what they say better than those terms. But let me talk about Brabant. Caswell, I too was told from one of
Wait,
my
no, no,
sources.
no, Mr. Murray. I have to pause you there, because guess
Okay.
what? We have Pauline actually got her devices to open,
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
no problem, no problem.
yes, so
That
we're going
that
to
Okay.
line will come in.
we're going to
Yeah.
bring her in. Let's bring her in, Mr. Murray. Wonderful. Good night, Pauline. Finally.
Yes,
How are you?
yes. I am well, thanks. I'm very glad that I got in, and I felt that I needed to come in for the sake of my children and my grandchildren. I want to say up front that I am not afraid. And why I am tired is because I hate the micromanaging of all the ministries by one man minister. I hate the disrespect of the people of Barbados, and especially in recent times, the Public Accounts Committee, how they were treated. And, that made me feel as though we can't get anywhere, but I'm hoping that there's a solution to that. I hate the apparent lack of accountability by those who are governing this country. I hate the lack of transparency. We were promised that a few years ago, and it seems as though rather than getting more transparent, things are getting darker. I absolutely hate the excessive borrowing that this current administration is doing. Lord knows that my children and grandchildren have to pay that back. And I especially hate the blatant lies that are constantly being told. And you can hear them as they come forth. It's very easy to decipher when a lie is being told. And so because of those few reasons, I'm not going to take up any more time. I really think that this present administration should go. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Pauline. Pauline, just to make sure, are you in Barbados? I know Lucinda was in the
Yes,
UK.
yes. I am in Barbados. I am part of the movement. I participate in the marches. I attend the roadside parliaments when I
Yes.
can. Right. So, and I make contributions.
Yes, and we want to thank you for those
And I
contributions.
am not afraid.
And that's right. That is right. I love it. And she's Bajan to the bone and not afraid. So don't tell me no nonsense about Bajan's passive. But thank you so much, Pauline, for your contribution. And I'm going to ask you to exit the studio so someone else who is not afraid, will come in and speak. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Yes, Miss McLean, what are your thoughts? Very, very clear and concise.
Yeah, I think she was, and I scribbled down much of what she said, and she's touched on some very critical things. Broken promises. You talked about transparency, and she said rather than getting more transparent, they're getting darker. And that is very true. I mean, if you look at how government has been treating the accounting, they've gone back to a system of what they call below the line accounts. You're paying significant money to Water Authority every month, but they don't give you any reports on that. and the concern about the generations to come, her children and her grandchildren. She was very specific, and in so many ways, the issue of the legacy, the impact of so many things, whether we are talking about values, behaviors, the economic situation, how is it going to affect future generations? You always hear me talk about the fact that there are 4 generations of my family alive. And that's a serious thing, you know. What are they leaving for the people who will take over this country?
Yes, well said, Miss McLean. Mr. Franklin, well, any thoughts there on Pauline? Anything you want to add?
Well, basically, Maxine has summarized it very well, because she has hit the nail on the head, so to speak. And her concern for her children, I wish that was shared by more people in Barbados right now, but people are catching their tails. I was going to use another word, but be on the shore. So people are catching their tails to survive, so they're thinking down the road. But grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren going to be paying back this debt that this government is accumulating and spending lavishly on their friends, family, and Glenn call them fornicators, they call them another word too. But we have to believe ourselves of this government, and I don't know the dishonesty. Someone said in the chat, that this is an adult. It was Matthew Sainsbury or something like this, and I was a bit appalled that somebody would think that this level of justify a grown virgin who got the ability to sit down and type on a computer would think that this behavior is appropriate for a leader of this country. But because that is the case, we have some people who will do anything to justify her behavior. It is not justifiable. Not if we want and decency. We are going down, as I said, a world of decadence. This society is falling in every aspect, and wherever you see the decay in society, there is a government minister or something attached to it and having to steer this country down the wrong road. Look at our little children. Tell them to go to school how they like.
Yeah. And as you said, it's about the future, the next generation. Mr. Murray, go right
Glenn
ahead.
wanted to say something, bra.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
First of all,
let him not about Brian. Just say about this because I'm waiting. It's 3 minutes to 10, so I'm not sure. But I'm not sure if what you want to say about Brian. You want to say 3 minutes?
I want to draw your attention to the photograph in the paper when the Prime Minister announced that it was an error. Did you read the body? Did you look at the face and read the body language of Sonia Brown? Very aggressive look on her face, arms folded, very defensive, like as though she did not belong. She was between Minister McConnell and the Prime Minister, and it made me remember a biblical quotation about what day is that when you get crucified. But she was not happy. The body language told I'm not sure she was not happy because of the company or what the Prime Minister was saying. But I have a contact who told me that, like Calza said, it was an error. First of all, I am told the specialist has no background in valuations. He is an accountant and fits into the profile of the commissioner who was brought along, the board has brought a lot of people accounting background given the profile, the background of the commission. So it is not supposed to be an error at all. But if you know the Prime Minister to shut it down, she wasn't outraged. She wasn't upset that it was bringing her government into disrepute and somebody get fired. She just tried to shut it down. And as a matter of fact, when what was his name, the farmer who was speaking, she was trying to overtalk him and shut him down quiet, to cover him down. Oh, it's an error.
Yes.
I said, yeah. So there's a lot more going, but they tell me that the person drew to me attention that in the days of inland revenue, land tax, and they used to have problems, late staff award, but those two institutions for all years had never been brought into such disrepute, confusion, mistakes, and accusations of or corruption like this one in a very short period of time because it was very incorrectly staffed, and they're being a lot of nepotism involved in it, and you're paying the price for it now.
Yes. Well said. I'm sorry we didn't have the picture to actually show. We probably tried another night and to show, but I saw it too, and I was trying to read her body language, like she didn't want to
Be
um
there.
to be there, like she was sandwiched, or forced to sit there. But I think that's it for tonight. But it was a breath of fresh air to have people coming on. I want to read some of the comments though, that people are, who did not come on, but they said, Dale Warren said, tired of the disrespect meted out to and blatant disregard of the public servants and citizens of this country, the promise, the neglect, etc. So very true. And let me see. Help me, Caswell, if you can find anything else that we can read, because the viewers are very much part of this show. Any other comments? There was one, I think we took a picture of it, that we can, a very good comment. So I'm going to try to find it. And it says here from Hurricane Writer, I am tired of the standing orders being manipulated, tired of bills not being circulated publicly and being rushed through the House and passed into law, tired of BRA not being investigated legally. And people they're very informed, Miss McLean. The people are very informed. This is an educated society, and they're very informed. Casual, you have any to read there? Okay, you're
Mike.
muted.
Now I was checking through there. I just saw I was looking through my text, but you read the ones that I found.
Okay. Yes. So it's been a good night, and it seemed to be bad weather is coming.
Yes. Be
Well,
careful.
there is something on the side here. Let me read it for you.
Yes, sir.
The Minister of Home Affairs and Information, Wilfred Abrams, has dismissed as fake news and a fabrication a graphic in circulation seeking to suggest that Grand Kadooment has been postponed. However, SOCA 5.0 has been postponed due to an orange alert being issued for the approaching severe thunderstorm activity tonight. Meantime, Director of Meteorological Services Sabu Best has announced that severe weather is expected around 10 p.m. with improvement around midnight. And then Carl Roberts, and on the meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the National Cultural Foundation, Carl Roberts, has explained the postponement of SOCA 5.0, stressing the difficult decision was only taken after consultation with key agencies. That is the latest. I subscribe to the Starcom network thing, so they're sending you things to me. So that came up in the thing. Just know what you were speaking.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that clarity. So it is the SOCA 5.0 is postponed. So that's correct. And I'm hearing here from good sources that they waited until about 1,000 people were there to make that discussion, as Ms. McLean was saying, that decision. And because I myself went to look at the weather, and if you have an outdoor event and so on, and these are some of the things. Nothing has to be perfect. But we're asking our leaders to use common sense. If you're managing something, that is what you do, right? You go and you check. You know that people have bought tickets and dressing up to come. Go and do it earlier, not when the people get down there.
I didn't even walk the dog because they see the weather. And these people kind of look upside. I know weather man. I look upside, look up and say, I ain't walking the dog. So you make it for 1,000 people to get up there. But the people, our people are using the head. They could, just like I said, when I'm walking dog this evening, they could look up and say, I'm going to bed because this spring and come down. And then they were hearing the radio.
Mhm.
Oh Lord, Lord help us.
Yeah.
Maybe they had complimentary tickets to the VIP
It's
cabanas.
possible. It's entirely
Good
possible.
times. Can't give up a good time.
Well, the last comment here about being sick and tired, loyal daughter says, I'm tired of this cult of personality. People learning, they're picking up your
That's right.
words.
That's
Wonderful,
right. Thank you.
Guy Murray. I'm tired of this cult of personality where the Kool-Aid drinkers seek to maul you. I am tired of the lies and disrespect meted out to the citizens. I am tired of the death trap. Listen, it'd be so good to capture some of these things here because.
Oh yes, Adrian Hines is saying, I have been tired of Mayor Mottley, the politician, Edutech, Gandary prison burn, suggesting condoms in prison, volunteering Arthur against his request, immigrant workers at Kensington, 2007. This is more coming up now as we see.
Thank you. That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, here we say good night to everybody, and Dave isn't here, but I'm gonna have to find that. I have to play at least pretending tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
We have to play. We have to play pretending.
She pretended to dance.
Marcia is pretending to be Dave.
To be Dave. Let me go ahead and play pretending.
That mouth snort English, pretending to be good. I pretending to be good, just pretending to be good. I pretending to be good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 Pretending. And I'm pretending to be good at math, snort English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at math, snort English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good. And I'm pretending to be good at math, snort English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at math, snort English. I just pretending to care about people.
I am muted. Good night, everybody. And this
Good
is
night,
where
all.
Good night. Stay safe.
Until
Catch
next
the
time.
water. If your water supplies have to be replenished, because if you have bad weather, you never know.
Yeah, people turn off the water and tell you what
Water may go off. So at least have a minimum of drinking and whatever else. So, yeah. It's that time of year.
All right.
Okay,
Take care,
then.
everybody. Until next time.
Yes.
Okay, take care. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.